The following is a presentation of Stewed Productions.
Hi, I'm Alex.
And I'm Josh.
And we are with Saloon Door Brewing, and this is InterBrews.
This is InterBrews.
We got through it. And the yeast, is the yeast on the way?
Man, they don't know. That's usually how brewing goes. Sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. But we do know that this is episode 173 of InterBrews. We're here at Saloon Door with Alex and Josh. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Thanks for having us in.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming by.
Right off the bat, Tasty AF, maybe the most appropriately named beer I've ever had. This is...
what is it? What is it?
It's
Peanut butter.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Peanut butter chocolate milk stout.
Yes.
So let's get right into that because this beer, is it on nitro? Or
It is on
yeah,
nitro.
Okay.
that's the secret.
It smells like I just want to like swim in it. It smells so good, and then it tastes just as good as it smells. Let's get into this beer. Normally we get all into like intros and where you came from, but I just want to jump right into this beer.
We're
Get to the
following
good
your
stuff.
lead. Yeah,
Mm.
that's fine.
So how did that beer come about? Because that is excellent. It's like a liquid, like a peanut butter cup or something. It's
So good.
it's really good.
We didn't expect it to be as big of a deal.
Yeah.
The thing about the Tasty, I don't know. I got the idea from another brewery. They were doing a peanut butter Russian peanut butter imperial stout.
Yeah.
It was a brewery up in San Diego when I was looking at doing this whole thing. It's like, let's do a brewery, but
Yeah.
terrified. So had to learn. And they basically had this beer that had peanut butter. I couldn't believe it. It's like, how the heck do you get peanut butter in there?
Uh-huh.
So that idea started with another brewery, like all good ideas, like how many original ideas are out there, but you can always take a good idea and make it your own in a way.
Yeah.
So they had the whole peanut butter thing going. It's funny. The brewer he's like, yeah, no, I didn't expect it to be good, but people loved it.
Mm.
And then I was like, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to do a peanut butter milk stout.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I could make an original kind of tweak. And I was like, that's it. And then I went to a bar and I saw that beer was already made.
Yeah.
Too. I sat down. I was like, this brewery, Belching Beaver, they have this peanut butter milk stout.
Mhm.
I'm like, that's the beer I was going to make. Dang it. Well, let me get it. Maybe it's not that good. It was amazing. It was
Yeah.
great. It was on nitro. It's perfect. That was my thought. Long story short, I just said, I'm going to make it anyway, but I'm going to tweak it. I'm going to add a little bit of chocolate.
Yeah.
It tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup in a
Yeah.
glass. And that nitro, that creaminess, that's the secret.
Yeah.
I did that as a home brewer
Mm-hmm.
and a concept, and I loved it. And then we were just thinking, we'll just make it. We'll make it for the brewery. It'll be like a unique thing that they can come check out. Like
Mhm.
it'll draw people in. Well, we offered it out there, and the demand just you don't get to brew what you want to brew in your own when you do this. Like
Uh-huh.
as a home brewer and as a hobbyist, you get to do what you want to do.
Mhm.
But when you do a commercial brewery, sometimes you create a monster, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But
That's
that's what happened, and the
That's good.
demand just spoke for itself. Like all these other breweries that have these beers, they're like, "Wow, we didn't see that coming.
Mhm.
We didn't see Tasty coming." One of the customers said, "Like this is Tasty," and we were like, "That's what we're gonna call it.
Yeah.
This is Tasty." It's fine. I don't know if I can say that, but
Yeah, we can.
can.
Yeah, it's the Wild West internet.
Nice.
but they were like, "This is Tasty as fuck," and then they were like, "We got to call it that." And that was Alex's cousin Austin,
Mhm.
Oh.
and then
Yeah.
this poor guy's been making it ever since. It's like, let's have the beer we make.
Yeah.
Funny thing, we hated making it at first, and now we're like, yeah, this is we make it so often. It's
Uh-huh.
it's actually the easy beer to do. So
Mhm.
What goes into? Am I hearing your phone? I'm hearing your
The headphones.
yeah. You're listening to the stream.
Yeah.
It's a time machine. we're hearing ourselves like 30 seconds in the past.
There you are.
It'd be cool if it went the other way though, so I knew what I was going to say before I said it.
Then it sounds so much better. Like you'd be well prepared. And
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I know where this is going. Like, I just- so brewing this beer, like, okay, one, peanut butter. Then it's got a lot of fat and oil and stuff. Isn't that kind of a bugaboo?
Yeah. So the secret is that we actually talked with the George Washington Carver Estate, and they found
Really?
the 101st patent for peanuts,
Uh-huh.
where we actually are able to take an entire peanut tree and shove it into every single thing.
That's amazing. That's a first. I had no idea.
the oil thing you're talking about is definitely not in the beer because you wouldn't get any head retention
No.
whatsoever, and it would taste awful. it would be terrible. It's a really good question. How the heck does that happen? And there's a lot of ways. They have these like powders that you can
Mhm.
use. These PB2 protein,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's all the concentrated peanut essence,
Mhm.
but dehydrated.
Yeah.
My God, that's a pain in the butt to use.
Is it?
Like I would
It's a
never,
mess.
I would never use that commercially. I would do it as a hobbyist.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I've
a lot
never
of homebrewers do it.
never used it. Never used. I've had beer with it. It's great.
Mhm.
It's a mess. It's not feasible. So like if you had a beer that you decided to do that, well, you'd need some serious like process and like equipment to handle it.
Mhm.
Or you could just try a different product. And I'll be quite honest with you, like we've tried many different products.
Mhm.
It's the essence of peanut butter in the beer, but
Mhm.
it's a good quality extract.
Yeah.
Ah.
And honestly, I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah.
And it's a taboo thing. And a lot of breweries
Mm.
like they may or may not want to admit that. And I'm
Yeah.
not afraid to admit it. It works.
It tastes delicious.
Well, I mean,
It's-
like when you throw the direct product in there, you're basically making an extract inside of your beer. And
Yeah,
if
you do
you
the same
go
thing.
through with the process of taking the direct product and making your own extract out of it, you're just doing it amateurish. And there's guys who are pros at this, and they make very good products.
I wouldn't do that across the board for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. There's a lot of flavors that just do not work.
Yeah.
That's why you test it out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if it's
you gotta-
terrible, you don't do it.
you gotta try those extracts out. You can't just immediately trust them.
Most of the fruits, like the
Yeah,
good fruit,
tastes like-
mango, all those flavors, they're terrible.
Yeah,
they're,
no,
they're
that's-
awful. So you just do it with real fruit, but
Mm,
that's
yeah.
tricky. There's chemistry.
Yeah.
Brewing is like baking and cooking, and the
Science.
baking side of it's really, really can be ugly to
Yeah.
you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, bacon's tough because you've got to be right there with exact proportions and ratios and
Yeah, baking's a science.
yes,
and that's the science piece of it that I feel like I feel like brewing is both. It's
Mm.
both of those. It's like a hybrid of the two, and I suck
Mm-hmm.
at both of those. Somehow I make beer. I don't know. My wife keeps joking. She's like, "You can cook and you can bake.
Mm.
You just don't try. You try to make beer.
Yeah.
That's why you're good at it.
Yeah.
But you don't try these other things. Why not?"
Yeah, it's true.
I told her when I retired,
Yeah.
I'd cook.
There you go. So you don't have even like one dish you go to.
Yeah, I got like 3.
Okay, that's all you need.
Most of
yeah.
them are breakfast.
Oh, that's fine.
The perfect food.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You ask Mike what he had for breakfast this morning.
Don't ask me that.
Mike, what'd you have for breakfast this
Don't
morning?
ask me that.
This-
I had lunch food
You're having milk stout
at 7:00 this morning.
Oh,
I had
Nice.
What did you have?
4 hot dogs.
4 hot and Doritos
Yeah, some Doritos with it.
nice.
Some water.
and some water. There
No
you go.
wonder you're not going to eat lunch. You're good. You're good till like 3 o'clock.
Exactly.
There's
Exactly.
those 7 a.m. hot dogs. It's not that much difference in a kolache. Let's be honest.
They're the
That's true.
same thing, man.
Same
Yeah,
Oh, but
it's
the
just-
buns, like
The buns,
that's
That's it.
but still, did you put mustard on them though?
I did.
Okay.
that's not a kolache.
No, it's not.
No.
What else do you just straight mustard?
Mustard, mayonnaise, some onion, cut up onions, and a tomato.
Woo. All right. There you go. That's healthy though.
That's
Yeah,
rocket fuel,
shredded
man.
cheese.
Yeah, you're good
Yeah.
for the day.
I'll be good for a while. For
Yeah.
sure.
You'll be good. I don't know if we'll be good.
No.
Nah,
We'll
we'll be good. We got
We'll
liquid.
see what happens.
I got my coffee.
Yeah.
I just meant being around Mike.
Nah, there you go.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be
and-
around me.
You don't have to ride with him back to town.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's get into how did Saloon Door come about? Because Joe, y'all just had your 2-year anniversary. Well, I say just.
A
That's
few months.
that's
April.
when you
It feels like it was
At the
just
end of
yesterday,
it feels
man.
like it.
yeah
It
when
was.
when you have life and family and business and
Yeah, I turned around and it was
Yeah.
August.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I don't
So-
even know where time's going. And the kids are going back to school for me. And I'm
Yeah,
just
and
like,
like
good
next
Lord.
week is it
Yeah.
next week? What is
Yeah.
the date? Yeah,
Yeah,
2
next
weeks?
week for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, man. So how did we get here?
Man, I'm still trying to figure that out. But I keep looking back, and as more of the story plays out, it starts to become clearer.
Yeah.
Like, wow, all right. But basically, yeah, I've been homebrewing for 10, 11, 12 years. My wife got the kit for Christmas, the classic story, right?
She got
And
it for you.
She
or
bought it for me
Okay.
to give me something to do. And I just set it aside. 6 months later, I finally got into it. I didn't think homebrewing was a good idea.
Yeah.
Like I was that guy. I was like, why would you homebrew? It's a stupid idea. Just go buy beer at the store.
Mhm.
That was my attitude. But then I met a buddy of mine that was actually my suite mate in college, and I saw him homebrew, and she was paying attention. I was like, this is cool.
Mhm.
I'm drinking this beer. It's good. It looked like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And she paid attention, got me the kit like that same year, and I got hooked. And it just went from the most basic extract brewing kits to like all grain to like buying stuff that took over the garage, a kegerator, a keezer, the whole thing. And I had a pretty good disposable income as an engineer.
Mhm.
So I just bought all kinds of toys.
Yeah.
And she was like probably regretting her decision. She's like, oh my God, this has become more than anything I imagined. And now she's really regretting it because now I'm doing it for a living, which is a totally different story. But this thing's just grown and grown and grown. And it got to this epic proportion as a homebrewing hobby. And my brother-in-law he knew that I brewed. And he was in California. He went after my sister who was studying psychology. They got together, they got married. He was coaching baseball. He had a brewery open up next to him. And as he was doing his 5 years of coaching baseball on his batting cage, the dads were drinking beer at the brewery next door at Mother Earth Brewing. He got to know the guys over there, got to know the people, the owners. They're great people. The whole industry is great. And so they started just kind of giving him that like little taste of like, hey, this is what it's like to be, in the brewing industry. There's lots of different sides to that, but there's some good stuff to it. And he just got addicted to it. He was like, I'm going to do this if I ever go back to Texas. And, it was good because he was from Texas and the laws were changing about the same time they wanted to come. It was just like a perfect storm. So he had to get me on the hook. And that's kind of where it started. He needed a brewer. He's like, hey, you brew? You ever want to do this for real? It's like, no, it's crazy. I didn't want to at the time. But I'll humor you. And I went down there and I got to see the brewery, got behind the scenes, got a little bit I asked a bunch of questions, started considering investing. I'll invest. I'll be an investor. This is a cool idea. You do it. I'll just give you some money.
And this is in California?
Yeah, well, he was going to do it in Texas. He wanted to do it in Texas, but I was going to California because he knew the folks over that brewery and they were just willing to let us like take a look. I mean, there's really cool about it. And just what do you want to know? Like how to clean tanks. I didn't know anything. It's a pretty big difference between home brewing, tank. You got your little carboy. I mean, there's a lot of differences. Commercial brewing is professional brewing for a reason. And I mean, you can learn it the hard way, but I'm not that kind of a person. I was like, I'm not going to learn this the hard way. I was like, I do not know how to do this. I need to figure it out, or I'm not going to do it. But I was going there not even thinking I was going to do this. Like, I just wanted to see it. I was curious. But that's the thing about the industry. It gets you. And once you start getting curious, you start getting more involved in it. You start to like what you see. You start to like the people. You start to like the lifestyle. You like you're like, I want this. And so eventually, with the help of them, helping me get confident. I needed confidence.
Yeah.
They helped, help me feel confident enough to size a system with another company. Now I'm still doing this with the idea that I'm not going to be brewing. I'm just going to help them. This is how much money you would need. This is the size of the brewery, all these things. Like, as I did projects in engineering. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how it went from that to, I'm going to actually operate this equipment. I don't remember when that happened. But then I went through this moment of terror because it was just me. And Alex's cousin Austin was one of my partners. He noticed it. And then he's like, you need a right-hand man. And so I'll let Alex tell his piece of it. But kind of at that point, before we even got the equipment, he kind of realized that. And he was right, because I started realizing the depth of how much work it really was. Yeah. Like, I went from, I'll do this part-time to there's no way I can do this part-time. I have to be full-time. To I don't even think I can do this full-time by myself. Yeah. At the level that it takes. And I couldn't. And I'll let Alex kind of go in. I mean, because you kind of came into it at that point.
Yeah, I came in like before everything really got started. Like, they had the building and they had the equipment, but nothing was put together. Nothing was hooked up. I was working engineer in oil and gas, and that's a boom and bust cycle. And so one summer between jobs, I was trying to figure out what to do. My dad had been homebrewing for years, and I'd been helping him out, and I had been thinking about getting my own homebrew set up. And like I was getting ready to go buy one like the next time that I got my next engineering job. Yeah. And my cousin was like, "Hey man, we're opening a brewery. You want to come do that pro with us?" And I was like, I do, because like, I'm just gonna skip right through the hobby phase and go straight into doing it pro.
I thought all grain brewing as a home brewer was jumping right in. Yeah. It's no.
Yeah. And so I came over here to just like start helping out, like getting this place organized, like, being part of the brain share, and helping them figure out how everything is going to need to be put together, because like it came like an erector set, like with like little numbers on all the little joints. And we're sitting here like trying to figure it out before we get the guy to actually, who we bought it from, to actually come help us build it. Yeah. So I'm just there like being another engineer, Josh and I are the only two here. Like, all right, we're gonna figure this whole thing out.
I'm the guy that needs instructions to put erector sets together or anything. I have to have the instructions, so we didn't get any. So thank God Alex was better at that than I was, because I was looking at pieces like, what the heck do I do with this?
Yeah, and so I met everyone. That the volunteering was basically the job interview, and then the next day my cousin was like, so yeah, we're gonna start you, and you're gonna go start helping Josh on his homebrew system at his house. It's like, cool, all right, let's do that.
So I had this 6-tap kegerator, and I was brewing like every other week, and I was doing all these concept brews because I'd already signed a lease. So at some point I decided, yeah, this is a dream I want to do. I want to be able to work for myself, do my own thing, get away from it. I was already looking for a new thing myself, and so yeah, we were homebrewing a lot, and we were like, we got to come up with different ideas. I had a bunch of recipes. A lot of these are my homebrewing recipes. Some of them are new, and some of them are brews that Alex and I came up with. But yeah, we did a lot of that, and then we decided we needed the scaling of those recipes from 5 gallons to 400 gallons. It's kind of an intimidating process at first. It's like, whoa, how do we do that?
Big jump in the scale.
It is, and there's certain things you learn. And it's honestly like you learn through experience, but you also, it's nice to have like that knowledge that other brewers, have. They've done this, like, oh, this, you can do these things. And I was always willing to ask, like, how do you do this?
It's
that helps.
When you said your dad homebrewed?
Yeah, my dad homebrewed with his buddy, and so I had gone over to hang out with them a few times, help them brew, play darts, drink beer.
As an engineer, do you think you could help Mike engineer that headphone
It's
thing?
just
Is it just
it's
like literally you're right when he had to hold it that way.
that's what I say. Yeah, just hold it. Can you just you look so frustrated over there. I'm sorry.
Let me just go find some duct tape and WD-40 and I'll fix anything.
He's got it working now.
Okay, well, there you go.
Can't move it. Shake it.
Okay, just nobody move.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Freeze.
I hear that story more often now, and I don't know, maybe it was out there more, but it seemed like dad's getting sons into home brewing, and then eventually, I'm guessing, you talked about your kids earlier, second generation brewers coming up, because I mean we're in the infancy still of the craft beer movement. Or I guess we're getting into the adolescent. I don't know how you break all that
I
down.
hope it's still the infancy. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, it's when you think about, okay, somebody's been around, like you guys said, 2 years.
Yeah.
That's a pretty long time. I mean, there's been 87 breweries just
opened up
in Houston
That's
since
true.
then. The years I think that's going to shrink. But as far as like when you've been open a year, I don't know if that ever actually goes to just a year. Like 2 years is in brewer years is like 10 years. I don't know. I don't know what the scale is. But,
I know. I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
It could be 100.
Do y'all know what number y'all were? RR?
as
far
in
as,
the Houston
brewery?
area.
Houston area? You know what number you were?
God, no. I don't.
I saw like one little graphic, like it was like right after we opened up. My buddy sent me that was like it was like a crude hand drawn map, like on the internet, like and it was like the breweries in the Houston area with like just this like circle of 610 and then like a line for 45 and a line for 59 and a line for I-10 and then like a bunch of dots on it. And like this was like 2 months after we opened or something, so hardly anyone had opened after us, and I think there were like 43 breweries on that one little map. And then now I'm sure it's up above 80.
We were having this conversation like on Twitter last night, because I was at work, and who just works at work? But nobody. Depending on where you draw the line. So, I live in Cypress, so that's an hour and 15 minutes from here, or an hour and 10 minutes, however long it took us to get here. And you go all the way down to Galveston. You can go all the way up. It's just as fast for me to go to College Station as it is to get here. So I say College Station to Galveston, and then west. I don't know how far out west you get. Brookshire, I guess. That's where Bob.
Yeah.
East San Antonio.
Still need to make it out there.
Yes. Yeah. It's that's they just got a whole new like brew house.
That's what I heard.
So I need to go out there again. That's the thing. Is like I try to get around to everybody, and like it's taken me 2 years to get over here to y'all, and it's just I don't know. I like it. I like I love being able to go to different parts of town.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And it's like, oh, there's beers I've never tried. I get to try that, like south of I-10, or not even south of the Beltway.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch going on down here.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
What's the nearest brewery?
To
To you.
us, probably
Gauss?
Backfish.
Yeah,
in
Backfish
Pearland?
is about 20 miles or 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
But
Backfish
so
and-
is TBR. They're about 20 minutes.
Yeah, just in the other direction.
Just in a different direction.
Yeah.
And then Valencin's isn't much further from Backfish.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
And
and,
Galveston Bay is not that much
Galveston
further
Bay
from
is
TBR.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, man, if you're gonna hit breweries around here, there's really only a handful right now. There's a couple more that are up and coming too.
Yeah, there's
but,
a few places that are starting up.
I mean, we're getting to a point where you might start being able to hop around.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, that was part of the conversation last night because when the word saturation comes up, it's like,
Yeah.
not this. We're too spread out. There's-
Yeah, like the idea of like hopping around, like in Clear Lake, you hopping around means you get in your car and you drive for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you go up inside the loop, then you can hop around and you can actually walk from one to the other.
yeah. Well, yeah.
yeah, it just depends on what you're used to. I mean, we don't have quite the population density
Yeah.
that you have in Houston. So like, I don't know what the support like level is down south of Houston, but it's been pretty good for us. So just I don't know how many more are gonna be able to show up.
The market's not small.
But
Like
it's a big market.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we're technically in Webster, right?
yeah,
this is Webster.
How many people live in like Webster proper? I mean, it's a
What
wasn't a lot.
It's not a lot in Webster proper because Webster's almost exclusively
It's all
businesses.
commercial. Yeah, but we're surrounded by a lot of residential areas kind of outside of
Yeah,
Webster.
League City, Clear Lake, Pearland, Friendswood, all of them. Like that's all neighborhoods.
Yeah.
now y'all are close to NASA.
Right.
Have y'all talked to NASA yet about maybe sending your beer to Mars or?
I hope that they're going
We
to ask
no,
us to
like
do that.
like we legit had somebody come in and ask us about like getting a Saloon Door beer up on the station. Like it was like one of the astronauts or someone like just
I would so do that.
making stuff
Yeah.
up, just like walking up like, man, I love this beer. Like I want to get it up there. It's like cool.
That would
I don't know how we're gonna do that.
That would be the coolest thing ever. I mean, think about how it would
Yeah.
put you on the map.
Yeah.
First beer in space. You know?
Yeah. Has there been beer in space?
I don't know
I'm
how
sure
like
there
keg would
has.
work without gravity.
That's true.
The first thing they're going to figure out how to do in space is brew.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
very first thing they're going to. Once they start colonizing,
Uh-huh.
the next thing they're going to do is
Start
figure out how to
brewing.
brew
Right.
in
yeah.
zero gravity. They're already
Uh-huh.
working on it.
Who wants to go to Mars? Is there beer there?
Yeah,
There will be.
Oh,
All right.
I'm
You can
in.
make
Like, I don't care what the food tastes like.
Yeah.
as
everything-
long as I get some beer.
Seriously, I wonder what Mars beer would taste like.
I don't know. I'm sure some people are already thinking about it.
Yeah.
Be green,
Green?
slimy,
Oh, good.
but good.
Sure. Would that be like I don't know. Would it be a sour? Do they have bacteria up there? Do we bring our
Yeah.
own? We'd have to bring our own, all of that.
No,
Martian
probably,
lambic.
Yeah, Martian open fermentation, like in outer space fermentation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it'd have to be a red beer,
Yeah.
though, for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah, everything's red.
The
up
creek.
there.
The creek.
Yeah, what am I thinking? The creek in Flanders.
There you
Oh,
go.
Flanders,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah, they're snooty on Mars. Nobody.
But we have we have a lot of the presence of the NASA, the folks, the engineers,
Mhm.
all the support groups that support NASA, and I mean they come and do there's a lot of those folks that do our trivia, and I think I didn't realize this, but like we got like 5th in the nation, like
Yeah,
the highest.
our Geeks Who Drink trivia. As a venue, we are like the number 5 smartest
In the
venue for
nation.
teams.
It's kind of cheating,
which is
right?
kind of crazy. So we got a lot of smart folks in the area. You know, they're coming to do trivia, and they know the
Yeah.
answers. Like,
It's like-
wow.
Yeah, it's like they're super smart, but the one category like reality TV. It's like
Yeah.
they can score like they're like the lowest, but everything else they're at the highest.
I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So how did the name? As I'm looking at the home of Saloon Door Brewing,
Yeah.
where did that come from?
Yeah, it's funny. The name was actually one of the naming anything sucks. Naming beers, naming your
Kids.
business, naming is no fun because they're all taken. So you're definitely going to be like someone else.
Yeah.
And then if you are like someone else, you just pray to God they don't get mad at you
Mhm.
for copying them. You know, the original name we went through a process. It was like 6 months, and somehow we came up with this name, Southern Draw.
Mhm.
So we wanted to do something like kind of a Western cowboy theme, whatever, you know, makes sense. Texas, right? So
Mhm.
Southern Draw, like we were joking about it, like, oh, you can draw the beer, you draw the gun, you know, like that's cool. But a lot of people didn't get it, and they didn't like the name. Actually, that wasn't a name that was well accepted in the public, because when we announced Southern Draw Brewing, a lot of people were like, what the heck is up with the name?
Yeah.
So funny thing is not only did most people didn't really like it, I mean, some people did, but it generally was not liked. we got a little notice from a brewery that was in Louisiana that had a beer called Southern Drawl. It was their like flagship beer, and I understand where they're coming from. They said, "Hey, this sounds a lot like our beer. There's gonna be brand confusion. If we bring it to Texas, we're gonna tell you that you're done. And we got this trademark, so we're gonna win."
Yeah.
They played like
Nice.
that whole cease and desist, but in a nice way. They didn't give us that.
Did they
just said
send you some of their beer?
No,
That
I've never
would-
had it. That would have been
yeah.
much nicer.
Yeah.
But we
See?
thought about
Proof.
it. Yeah. It's a funny thing is Southern Draw, our designer, our graphic designer, was struggling to come up. It's not a very tangible concept.
Yeah.
He was having a hard time, and so it took a long time to get
It's like a picture of Matthew
a
McConaughey.
design.
Yeah.
Right. We finally got somewhere that we were almost ready to make that decision, and this like threat of a lawsuit came up. We haven't even opened yet. Why even start fighting now? Or it was like, all right, we're just gonna give up. But we didn't give up. Like so Southern Draw Brewing, SDB. So we were like, let's at least keep, for some reason we wanted to keep those initials. Alex's cousin, Austin's sister, she came up with a name, and I hated it at first. She was like, "What about Saloon Door Brewing?" And I was like, "No," because I was so attached to the other name because it took so long. I was like, "No, I don't like it. No, it's got to be this other name."
Did she know that it was the SDB?
Yeah,
Did she
that's
keep-
why she did it.
Yeah,
She did it
it's like-
specifically.
like-
She's like,
Okay.
She put down like a
She
list
did
of like
SDB and
80
just tons
SDB
of
names.
names.
Yeah.
and Saloon Door was the one that everybody liked the most. I hated it, and it's funny. I just finally said, you know what? I don't care what the name is. Let's just go with it because we got nothing else. It was available. We were like, no one's really gonna fight this. Like we can. This is available. Let's just take it. And now I think it's the best name ever.
I like
And
it.
our designer loved it, and it was like within like minutes, I got it. I know what I'm gonna do, and it was like it's a good design. It's it actually is a way better name. And
Yeah.
and so the naming process is either you know it right off the bat or it's an evolution. It's an evolving thing. It's honestly, I feel like you don't know what you're supposed to call anything. It figures it out.
Yeah.
Like this just kind of came to us. Like I don't feel like we came up with Saloon Door. I think we were supposed to be Saloon Door.
Y'all ever thought about actually? I see the O's are the saloon doors and the front doors.
Yeah, and you're like the 1,000th person that's asking me if we're gonna put doors in this place. Yeah, is that where you're going with that?
Well, no, yeah, just something similar. Maybe not actual saloon doors.
I
'cause
think
know
it's a
that's
good
not
idea. Like
feasible.
hang them up on the walls or something. It's just something. Just decorate. Or yeah, no,
Yeah.
we thought about it. Golly, man, we just hadn't got around to that.
There was a restaurant.
We've been focusing on brewing.
But it's funny,
That's
but
why.
a lot of people have asked us that, and we deserve that. We deserve that. It's like, yeah, there's not a single saloon door in this entire place. Like, why are we calling ourselves that? We don't have one. And it's like, yeah, I don't have a good answer for that. We just like, nah.
Haven't. Okay.
Next time, next
Yeah.
business, next building, maybe.
You want to buy us some?
Yeah. There was a restaurant like in the town I grew up in that had some going to the bath, like the bathrooms are set back.
Uh-huh.
And so I would make sure every time we went, I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom, so I could walk through those doors and just push them both open.
Yeah.
breeze
Yeah,
through.
yeah. And that would be a perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
Maybe that hallway.
Yeah. Or
And
even
they were
if you
talking
just-
about like knocking people's heads into the doors, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, there's
Mine-
always somebody worried about something happening.
head trauma's fine. I experienced
That's
some this
what I'm
morning. It's
I
builds
feel like
character.
though, if we'd have put saloon doors on the way to the bathrooms, like in that little hallway, someone would have jacked them by now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
at least
yeah.
3
Or
times.
Maybe to the brewery there, that door there.
Yeah, maybe that's a better spot. But
Well,
then it's not air conditioned.
It's
Yeah.
not air conditioning. You lose air conditioning.
Maybe to
God.
behind the bar.
Now that would be the best place, like
Yeah.
to get through the bar, and then we could say, "Hey, we got them."
Right there.
See, now
Breeze
we're brainstorming, and we're
Yeah.
coming up with the best place to put these doors. I think
Yes.
that's the biggest problem.
Or you can just build a frame and kind of put them randomly.
It's like for photo ops or something.
Yeah, you can take them
Uh-huh.
different places. Like, the saloon doors,
have them on wheels.
take them to
Yeah.
NASA, like
Yeah.
put them where they filmed the moon landing, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you believe in that. So, just kidding. It happened, right? Probably.
Stanley Kubrick insisted in filming on location.
Yes. Yeah. No. Anyway, I'm sure it's. Sorry.
It's got to be real.
Yeah. No, it's there. It's fine. They're there. Those things are
I
up
don't
there. Conspiracy theories. Let's get into that. So, flat Earth, right? Y'all are into that?
Flat
I
and
mean,
hollow.
Flat Earth is so much
Flat
fun.
and hollow.
Flat and hollow. Yes.
With the
both.
dinosaurs.
I
down
didn't
there?
even know that it was a hollow earth thing, and I'm thinking, well, they got to be both.
Yeah.
Because it's a ring.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Are we all out of beer?
yeah, we might need a refill.
yeah.
Mm, okay.
I
So,
could go for a refill.
all right. Well, we'll come back with more flat Earth talk
Uh-huh.
and refills.
Maybe we can make flat beer.
No.
Oh, God, no.
No.
Boo.
All right. Now we're back with full glasses, just like that. So they'll never know.
Nope.
I've got the
Podcasting magic.
yes, I've got the NEPA in front of me. So I went tasty AF to jerk that pistol I went from super malty, chocolatey, peanut
Nitro.
buttery nitro to
Yeah.
the NEPA. I had a theory on NEPAs. I think Houston has some of the best any IPAs around, like collectively. And my thought was because our sky and our air is hazy, our hazy beers.
Nice.
It's intrinsic to the city.
Yeah, it's like terroir. It's like
They literally pull the haze out of the sky to
Mhm.
put it into the beer.
we were put on Earth to do hazy beers, and so
Well, they're not going anywhere, that's for sure.
mhm.
I mean,
I
everybody
didn't
thinks
see
they're
that.
going somewhere. They're wrong.
I thought that they were a trend for sure, but they're here.
If they're a
forever.
trend, they're a really, really long one.
Mhm.
So tell me about this hazy IPA.
Sure.
It's NEPA. Is the hazy IPA, is that the official style, or is they call it the
I
New
believe.
England?
I mean,
so
JBF has some categories now.
yeah,
Yeah.
JBF has a category, and
I
they
think
came
they're
out with
using hazy.
they came out with a BJCP like style guideline, but I don't remember what the name.
I
they
swear it
used
was
for
hazy pale, hazy
Yeah, I think it's
IPA, and
hazy.
hazy double IPA. So
Yeah.
hazy is actually
Part of it.
it is the huge part of it. So
Yeah.
like everybody that wants to make this beer, if it doesn't look hazy, well, you didn't make a hazy IPA. I guess.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can make a juicy IPA that's not that hazy.
They just have to go in a different category.
Yeah,
But they don't have juicy yet, is the thing.
no.
No,
Not-
but that's
not-
that's
not
definitely
by
a
name.
component.
Yeah.
So I mean, I mean, I don't know, like the whole New England styles. It's a really I'm fascinated by it.
Mhm.
I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, we
it's
still
just,
brew them.
it's
Yeah.
we're testing it out.
Yeah.
We're trying. I don't know a whole lot. It's not like I have a lot of friends that make them.
Uh-huh.
that know all the secrets.
Well, they're
you know,
new. I mean,
they're,
it's
they're
like
pretty new.
Yeah,
like, and they've evolved since
There's-
they've started. They've just
there's-
evolved.
There's
all-
breweries that have been making them for years.
Yeah.
That are in other parts. They've been doing it for a very long time. They've gotten really good at it, and they're doing things that we're not doing here.
Mhm.
Like things I've noticed and I've heard other folks that really love New England IPAs is one of the things that we haven't seen yet, and maybe I haven't tried all the ones in Houston. Like, so take this with a grain of salt, but one of those things is like all these hops. Like there's a trick to like getting that head retention.
Mhm.
Like there's some beers that are pouring like in other parts of the country that have this amazing head retention that tastes just like all these other New Englands that we're getting around here that are also just as hazy, cloudy, all that stuff. Beautiful. But they have the head retention. Like there's a secret. Like there's something. There's a whole lot of components. There's a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
chemistry. There's a lot of tricks, and there's a lot of things people are just kind of just keeping themselves. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you figure out something really really special,
Mhm.
well, there's
You know?
there's a lot of theories out there too. Like
Yeah.
when you're trying to figure out how to make a beer you've never made before, you go and you look up everyone else's recipe, and you go and you look up what everyone else is saying about
Yeah.
how they made their beer look like that. And there's people that have all these ideas and they try all these things and like, all right, so this is the beer that I made and this is how it turned out and this is what I threw
Yep.
in it. And there's some things in there that you're just like, man, I never would have thought of that because I know that doesn't work. But
some
then there's
things
a lot
are
of stuff out
backwards.
there that's like, man, I never would have thought of that. And you try it and it works.
Yeah.
and you're surprised.
Yeah.
You're like, wow,
Yeah.
okay, I had no idea. But you got to try it. You got to try things. You got to just take chances.
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of brewers are going to have to get outside their comfort zone to make this beer. That's all there's to it.
Yes,
and,
that
and
is-
that's hard.
Mhm.
And I respect that. They don't want to. Like, okay, but I mean, I'm always wanting to learn. I always want to learn. I'm curious. I mean, we both are.
How big
so.
is y'all's how big do y'all make y'all's test batches?
No, we don't have a pilot system really. So this is a test batch.
So it's
Yeah,
just
10 barrels.
10 barrels.
Yeah, I hope to
We-
God it turns out decent. Now, it may not
we've
be the
done
best
some-
New England, but
yeah.
it's
we've done some 5 and 10s homebrew stuff. Like back when I used to actually do home brewing with my dad, some test batches, we made 5 and 10 gallon batches of a couple things, but then we kind of got comfortable enough with it, and we kind
Yeah.
of like got our schedule pushing until we're just all right. First batch, 10 barrels.
So I studied the New England style and took notes and thought about it for like 6 to 8 months. So it took us so long to make one. It's not that I wasn't going to do it. I kind of didn't want to. Like part of me was saying, "No, I'm never going
It's
to
a
do it. I'm not going to
fad,
do it. I'm not
yeah.
going to go do it." Now but I was still learning.
Yeah.
I was reading about them. I was fascinated by them. I was drinking them. I love. They're good. They're
Yeah.
good beers. I'm not. I mean, I don't personally. I don't feel like for the longest time I didn't feel like it needed to be hazy to be better. But then we made some of our own. And ours is not very hazy. It's somewhere in the middle,
Mhm.
maybe towards the lighter scent side of the spectrum as far as opaque.
Yeah.
But we shook a keg up that was clearing up because it's clearing up a bit, And we're learning about it. We're working on it, but we shook one up and then it made it hazier. And we were drinking and we're like, this is actually better.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it.
Like it legit changed the
mouthfeel and the flavor. It's
Yeah.
like, it
Just
tastes
shaking.
better.
Just shaking the
Yeah.
keg.
Just shaking the keg. Go figure.
Because there's stuff that, like, what makes the beer hazy is stuff floating in it.
Right.
And if you give it time and cold temperature, stuff that isn't stable will drop out. And so, if you didn't fully stabilize your haze, it'll eventually drop out. And so you shake it back up and it gets back up in solution, and now you can taste it again because it's back in the beer.
Right.
So what is causing the haze?
I don't know.
It's a whole number of things. You do a lot of stuff wrong when you make a NEPA, like stuff you're not supposed to do, and it turns out that way, and it's delicious.
When you say wrong, you mean like going against like
Well, for like
known
a,
process or whatever.
like when you're gonna sit down and you're gonna make an IPA, like there are steps you follow and there
You're in the
are
wrong
ways
direction.
you make beer.
Yeah.
And then when you sit down and make a NEPA, you ignore all of that.
so one of the things is like there's this water chemistry thing for IPAs. And if you want like that sharp hop pop, like a West Coast or just a standard IPA, like you have these ratios in water chemistry, like sulfates to chlorides. There's all these little things. And so like the water profile of like a West Coast IPA, it doesn't looks nothing like a New England. And so there's like more chlorides. It's the opposite direction. It's more malty. It moves in the, you're thinking malty. I don't want it to be more malty, but that actually adds mouthfeel. So there's components in like the water chemistry. There's components in the grain bill. There's things that add the mouthfeel, to add the body.
There's
things we haven't even thought about.
There's the sheer number of hops you throw into these
it's
beers.
so many things.
It makes an absolute mess.
What's fun is you end up with like hundreds of different just variations of this beer throughout all of Houston. All these breweries are just doing, and some of them are really good and some of them are pretty good, but they all turn out pretty decent, and people just, they flock to them. They want to try them all.
Yeah.
And everybody's trying to figure out how to make a better beer. Like that's the whole thing.
Mhm.
But that's what all brewers are always doing. They're always seeking perfection.
That's where home brewing started, is having better beer.
Just trying to make the best thing you can make.
That's really what started it all, because you couldn't get it.
Yeah.
It's like you could get some European beers, but they weren't fresh.
Mhm.
So what's really interesting about what I've noticed with homebrewing is it's really hard to make this as a home brewer, because you have to do some things that are commercially, like there's steps in the process. You have to be like really, really careful about oxidation.
Yeah, because NEPAs are extremely delicate.
Purging with CO2, things I was too lazy to do. Like, you have to act like a commercial brewer if you're going to make this really well on a homebrew scale and make it last. And hell, commercial brewers they struggle to keep the shelf life of these beers because they're so fragile. So you can't have oxygen. Like one of the things I read about, like the Heady Topper, John Kimmich, and he literally had guys come in and they checked his beer with these DO analyzers, and they were like, "Is this reading right? It's reading 0. Like, how's this possible?" He's like, "No, I just don't have any oxygen in my beer." And like they had to like bring another one in. And I'm like, wow. I mean, like he was that's a big piece of it. If you can get your dissolved oxygen, you cannot oxidize this beer. Like every step of the way, once it becomes beer, keep oxygen away. It's going to be so much better.
But
that can ruin this beer instantly.
But pre-fermentation, you still
still oxidize, because you want the yeast to go.
Yeast has to have it.
You want the yeast to propagate a full army.
Initially, you add oxygen so the yeast can reproduce.
Mhm.
And then during the fermentation process, if you add oxygen by draw hopping and doing other things, they can still consume it and get rid of it. But
if you add it too late, then they don't consume it anymore.
Once they're asleep, I mean, now you're just ruining your beer.
Yeah.
So the dry hopping has to anything that would add oxygen.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
you have to be careful with it.
Like we don't have those like hop cannons, all these fancy things that you can add hops without adding oxygen.
Yeah.
So we're doing the best we can. We're purging and doing everything we can to keep oxygen now. But I mean, that's a big deal. And your shelf life's only going to go so far. We've never even measured. We just make beer, and I don't know how long our New England would last, but it's flying out here faster than
the first one we made only lasted 5 weeks, and it was good all 5 weeks.
So
did you like taste it early and then like closer to the 5-week mark and had it changed any at all? I mean, it's still good, obviously.
No, it definitely changes throughout those 5 weeks. It was very green early on. I feel like
those first couple days it's green.
I think it peaked at like weeks 3 to 4. It was on its way down at week 5, and maybe by week 7 it would have been a shadow of what it was.
But the whole time, like with basically any NEPA, the whole time you can, like, if you're tasting it regularly, like over the course of its life, you can taste as the hops decline. Like it's noticeable.
Yeah.
But to package one of these, like to package it in cans, and, I mean, hats off to the guys that are doing this right, and they're making their beers last. That's an effort. And packaging beer is so hard. So I mean, kegging beer is tough too, but I mean, if they're the folks that are canning these New England IPAs and they're you got to keep them cold. I'd be afraid to buy anything warm
Shelf.
like this particular beer. There's other beers, but
Yeah.
there's just so much to like learn, and I've learned like in the last 2 years 1,000 times what I thought I learned, and it's unbelievable. If I ever go back to the hobby, like I'll be a different brewer, like a much better one. I think homebrewing came from commercial brewing.
Yeah.
Like what happened? The chicken or the egg, right?
Right. Right.
Well, people were brewing professionally for a lot longer than they were doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Like they probably started out doing it like as a hobby.
I don't know.
It
I'm
became
sure
a
the
profession.
Vikings were doing it for fun.
Yeah, they were.
They were a
But-
fun-loving bunch.
But you always wondered, like, as a home brewer, like, why people do this? And then I thought about it, I was like, they learned that from a commercial brewer. Like, why would you fly sparge as a home brewer?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's fun. Probably because that's like what commercial breweries do. Like,
Yeah.
there's just so many steps that I was like, that's where it came from. And there's so many good things that home brewing has captured, that the books and all that, the hobby has captured, that it came from the pros.
Yeah. We're in really cool times when you think about how many different, like there's never been this many breweries like in the country or in the world.
Yeah, I think it was last year. We re-hit the mark of the total number of breweries in the United States pre-prohibition.
Mhm.
Not per capita,
Yeah.
just total number.
I think we're almost close to doubling that. I mean, it's moving up fast.
Yeah.
But that plus the internet to be able to get that information out.
Oh, yeah.
What people are doing with these beers.
Yeah, like it's a lot easier now to learn how to make better beer than you did last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you think of like some of the old school styles,
Mhm.
How long did it take for that to proliferate? Like
Well,
how long did loggers take?
Think about how many different examples are out there.
Yeah.
Like you want to make a beer, you could try like 12 of them,
Yeah.
like 12 different versions. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That to me, like that's part of the fun.
Yeah,
Just
and-
researching what other
Yeah.
people are doing.
And you don't
Just by
you
tasting
don't have
it.
to go far. You just
No.
go to your HEB. Like
Yeah.
HEB by my house is
Yeah.
amazing. Like there's so many beers here. I have not tried
A
all
lot
these
of really
beers.
good ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need an extra liver just for research. I
Pretty
don't even.
soon they're gonna start growing those.
Yes.
Just like
Yeah.
get a new one. Like,
Yeah.
you-
I just
like,
need.
hey, you're getting to that age where you need that liver transplant.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah.
It's like-
Your insurance only allows you one.
Oh, that's horrible insurance. I need one like every 5 years or so. That'd be good. No, like you could have like your weekend liver.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's all shot. It's like your
Yeah.
your yard clothes or
Uh-huh.
whatever. It's like,
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
and then
Like an oxygen tank. You
yeah.
just like hook it up.
Oh yeah, like one extra liver. That'd
Yeah.
be cool. Like a
Like just change the
Uh-huh.
just open the valve to that
Mm-hmm.
liver. Just let that one go.
Mhm.
yeah. That'd be good. I don't know. That'd probably change your perception of beer though. There's
Yeah.
probably something in your liver
Could.
that causes you to, I don't know. I don't know anything about. I don't know much about livers.
Me either.
I've got one. That
Yeah.
I assume.
One?
Maybe. I've never seen it. I assume it's there.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Just like people say, just like people say the
There's
Earth is
nothing in there.
round,
Yeah.
or that we've been to the moon. I've heard I've had a liver, but I don't know. Never seen it. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, it's just an amazing time when you look at things as like a just a whole. Like how many people are doing NEPAs and like how
Uh-huh.
fast that information is getting transferred, and then how fast they're moving forward and how many different directions too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, in another 2 years, like where will the style be? Who knows? What will be the
Oh,
next, what style might convert, or disperse into different styles. Maybe it'll be like East Coast NEPAs and West Coast NEPAs and Gulf Coast NEPAs. Who knows? I don't know. Houston Hazies,
Well,
maybe.
I feel like the whole local thing is happening anyways. So like everybody's gonna do what they do in their backyard. What's
Mhm.
fun about that is you can kind of travel around and experience different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And different people do different things based on what they have available.
Mhm.
And that's not necessarily true to brewing because like everybody get all the same hops and stuff, but like the knowledge is different and the
Yeah.
sharing of that knowledge and also just that style and what people like what people like in Houston might be different
Yeah.
than what people like on the East and West Coast.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
so Houston does its own thing. There's
Like-
nothing wrong with that.
Like there's a reason that NEPAs are called New England and West Coast IPAs are called West Coast. Like
Yeah.
this, like they are styles that are local styles.
I feel like you make the beer that your local people like.
Mhm.
So if you make it and they're like that, I want that, you listen.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so it makes sense that Houston's going to come with its own
Yep.
version of a New England.
Yeah.
Whatever, call it whatever you want. Hazy beer, it doesn't matter. It's what they want. And
Mm-hmm.
so the breweries that are making what people want in Houston are the ones that are going to do well.
I think, to me, it would seem, just from looking at Houston as a whole, it would seem that Houston would be different than a place that's a little more. Well, when I think of New England, I think of some little New England town.
Yeah,
that everybody's lived there for 7 generations or whatever. Houston's very, like I moved here 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody in my neighborhood was born in Houston. There might be like one family.
Yeah.
But, you look up and down the street, it's like, oh, there's people from all around the world.
Well, there's layers. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Houston's a different kind of city.
Yeah. And for something to be popular and to sell well or, be sought after all across Houston, all across the populations that we have here, well, that's an interesting thing. That's not like you're going to get.
It is intrinsically the best beer in the world.
I can't think of another beer that is like that right now.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of one. There's just a couple styles that are really doing well, but there isn't one that I can think of that is gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Which I can't believe someone hasn't named a New England IPA gone in 60 seconds.
They have
like,
to. Well, the
need to
problem is that
sell.
they all sell out in 15 seconds.
Still, man, you can make a big enough batch so it lasts 60 seconds, and boom, you're good. You know?
Hazy IPAs are probably, if people understand, how quickly they decline, they may be one of the best things to guard against, like the eBay, aftermarket sales.
No, I would not buy them from.
Yeah.
You can't get it from the brewery. Just give up.
Yeah.
Save that for the pastry stouts.
I have to personally know my mule and know that they're going to be to me in 2 days.
Yeah.
And take care of it the entire time.
You were supposed to give me that ghost 3 weeks ago. Forget it. You just keep it now.
Yeah.
Did you pack this in dry ice? And,
That's a whole nother thing that's emerging. The whole beer trading and all that, and the mule. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to get in on that, but I don't know how.
I get it.
There's like a whole Facebook group culture around that. You can find it. There's everything on the internet.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I get it, wanting to try beers from other places, but to me, there's so much coming out around here.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
I'm not done tasting everything that's been made here.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But when people come by and they bring stuff, I'm always grateful.
Oh yeah.
So I just got to get it when I can. But
every time there's something I haven't had before, great.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll let them go travel. I have enough to find around here.
Yeah.
it's kind of like I get it when I can at the right time at the right place. But yeah, I just there's so much coming around out locally.
Yeah.
It keeps me busy. Keeps my liver, working hard.
And what kind of license do y'all have here?
We are Brew Pub.
Brew Pub.
Yep.
So there's the Brew Pub. Which one is that again?
That's so we can do.
That's the one that we can
growlers,
self-distribute and growler and
self-distribute.
crawler. Yeah.
Self-distribute.
Well, we
Yeah,
can't
you
make
said that
we
talked
can't
about
make
that.
like a certain amount of production up to a certain point, but I mean
Yeah.
we're so small.
But we can let people take beer to go
Yes.
out of the place. Yeah.
So yeah, that's like the growlers and stuff back
Yep.
there. Okay.
Yeah, it's a complicated bunch of rules and
Yeah.
laws and stuff, and
And hopefully
it's
it'll get
frustrating for other brewers that are bigger that they can't sell their beer to go, and
It's silly.
they should be able
Yeah.
to, and because it's not like, I mean, their beer is just as good as any other beer, and why not? I mean, but I don't, that's politics and all that fight, and it's a good fight, and hopefully the breweries will win.
It seems like the momentum,
But
at least social media speaking, is on the side of the brewers.
People want the beer,
Yeah.
like the people
Yeah.
want to get the beer, and if they can't get it, they're going to be on the brewer side.
Yeah, the Craft Brewers Guild has done a great
Oh,
job.
they've done
They
amazing
have, yeah.
things.
So far, it's like when it runs up against people with real deep pockets and
Yeah.
and, entrenched interests. I guess
Mhm.
we'll see how it really
Yeah.
plays out. But hopefully, just
As is the rest of the world is the same way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like that time has come. Just to all right, let's quit being silly. We're the last state. You can't justify it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. All right, you had
Yeah.
your time, and then I think they'll find that it's like distributors or whoever's trying to fight it, it'll actually be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think once it changes, everybody just kind of shoulder shrug and we'll walk, keep going on like it never was a thing, other than old episodes of this podcast.
Or we'll just open up like 300 beer gardens.
Yeah.
And just stop distributing beer.
Yes.
That seems. Would you ever consider that like a second location?
Yes.
Yeah. We've
absolutely.
We've been keeping our eyes open about the possibility for growth.
Is that your yeast?
No.
No.
No, I wish. I don't know where our yeast is. We were supposed to get yeast for a beer that we're brewing in a couple days, and first time it's ever happened. Just nobody knows where it is.
Yeah.
Someday it'll be on a drone here.
There you go.
That yeah, that would be cool.
It'll be here. What were we saying? before the.
Yeah, my bad.
The
No,
laws.
the laws. We were saying
Yeah.
laws, and then yeast.
And the second location, yeah.
The beer garden.
I knew that. Was
Yeah,
it. Mhm.
yeah. We've always been keeping our eyes open about, and more phones keep going on. I'm not allowed to talk about this. The phone is just always going to ring.
Yeah. No, somebody with the second location, like wanting to open that location.
They heard that quick.
Yeah, though they're watching on the street
They got
right
a
now.
spot.
Yep.
No, call him.
Yeah.
No. Stop.
That like any new business, you always keep your eye open on the possibility to grow to your next step, because this is a great location and I love it, and we've got a wonderful build and everything, but it is finite. It's limited in size. We can only get so big when we're here, and we've got bigger dreams than that. And so we look at the things that we can do here, and how that can prepare us for the ability to take the next step, to do the bigger phase, to do even more for all the people who want to come
So
drink Saloon Door.
You're
beer.
talking about moving to a whole new location.
I'm
Or
talking
is it maybe 2 locations.
no,
which-
these are all very nebulous ideas. It's what is the most feasible at the moment? Is it a second taproom facility? Is it all the way up into a second larger production facility? That's we're always just kind of on the lookout, keeping our eye open, checking our numbers, and making sure everything works out right.
What do the laws allow as far as second tap rooms and things like that? Because I was just in Round Rock, and Pine House Pizza has their 3rd location going on up in.
I
Boston area.
don't think there's any limitation on number of tap rooms. The only thing that I've heard is stuff that some of the bigger craft breweries I've run into with the distribution laws about producing your own beer at your own facility and transferring it to another of your own facility. If you're above a certain size, you're not allowed to self-distribute, and so you have to pay a distributor to move your own beer to yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess Pine House gets around that.
I think Pine House is small enough. I don't think they run into that issue.
When they also have breweries in it.
Oh, if they brew at the facility, yeah.
They have the breweries in the different facilities. So I guess that's how you would get around it.
Yeah.
You just do breweries there. But then I don't know. That's okay. That's a whole nother interesting thing.
Yeah.
It's what's more advantageous, having one brewery and then distribute, just taking the beer to the next place, or having 2 separate breweries, but then you have is consistency. That would be, I guess, the place you'd have to.
Well,
really focus.
it's a lot of fun to have a little brewery so that you can make a lot of different batches of a lot of different beer. But it's also really nice to have a big brewery so you can spend the same 1 10-hour day and come out with 10 times the beer. You don't have to keep brewing.
Yeah, that romantic thing about having a 1 or 2 barrel system or something. That's a lot of brewing.
It's a lot of you can't only have the 1 or 2 barrel system. You have the 1 or 2 barrel system, and you have the 60 barrel system.
Yeah. That's I don't know. People are trying it though.
Yeah.
Little places.
You got to start somewhere. I mean, you don't always get the ability to be like, hey, I have this much capital, or I can start here. I mean, we were fortunate to start where we started, and anybody that starts anywhere that does this, hats off to them, because it's not an easy thing to do. And you start with a small system. If you have any kind of success, you're going to be working a lot.
Yeah.
And
people are going to come they're going to come and they're going to drink all your beer, and they're going to say, why don't you have any more?
They say that's a good problem, and it is, but it's a stressful problem to have. But the folks that start anywhere, wherever they start, if they do it right, and they make what people want, they can get somewhere. I don't know where. We're still trying to figure that out for ourselves.
Yeah.
But we're having a certain amount of success that's been very good to us. And building a brand and an image and some expectations. So, and we're just playing around with a lot of different styles. Like this whole New England thing, I literally just wanted to know if I could. Yeah. And I'm still trying to figure that out. But I think we're pretty good. We make some pretty decent IPAs, and we can do the whole West Coast, the juicy IPA. And so I was like, okay, let's try to make it hazy too. See if that makes it better. And I'm still trying to figure that one out. So that's why we did this whole series. And it actually was so well received that I feel like I've kind of woken up a sleeping giant. And I'm not necessarily I regret it, because any beer I can make that throws lots of hops.
We pulled the tasty again is what happened.
I mean,
we made a beer we thought was going to be a novelty. I was like, yeah, we can do it. It's fun. It tastes good. And everyone's like, I want more.
I was like, oh my God. But any beer I can make that it's just got tons of hops in it, I'm game for that.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what it is about, because like, yeah, that tasty, man. That's
Mhm.
just that it hit me.
Well, I cannot think of another beer that's like it within 200 miles.
the closest thing I've ever had
Yeah,
to
no.
Tasty was in San Diego, Vista, California, by Belching Beaver when they had their peanut butter milk stout
Yeah.
on nitro. Pretty much nailed it.
It's,
And
I've-
I'm not gonna lie, like I had it there
Yeah.
at the pub that was close to the brewery, and I was like, this is exactly what I want. My
I think
beer to
that's
taste
the
like.
magic, is because we opened up and we have 4 nitro taps on our wall. We make nitro beer, and
Yeah.
like
The
I
creaminess.
can
it
I can
just-
think of a
yeah.
handful of nitro beers that are craft in the Houston area, and that's it.
the best way I can
Yeah.
describe it is you've seen 3D movies, and that kind of I hate 3D movies because it's just too much effort. But or you've seen a movie at the movie theater, and then you go to the 4D or whatever. You go to the Universal Studios. You go on that ride. And you're like, oh my god, that was so real.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like that dimension that the nitro adds, that
Yeah.
creamy dimension.
Mhm.
If you do the same beer, and we've done it,
Mhm.
and you just carbonate it with CO2 and just pour it on a regular tap,
It's not the same.
it's not the same.
It's like it triggers another part of your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you've had Tasty on nitro
Mhm.
and you've had the lesser beer, if you've done it in that order, you're just like this I can't do this.
Yeah.
And we even have a peanut butter chocolate porter that is on CO2, and it's pretty good. And it actually gets people by, and they can take crawlers home and they're happy because we can't do nitro crawlers. We can't do nitro
Yeah.
yeah, it
crawlers.
just doesn't package.
So like when we do the
Mhm.
peanut butter chocolate porter, it's a pretty good beer. It's different though. It's not tasty, but it's close.
Mhm.
But there's nothing like that beer. It's just the environment that it's the way you do it. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry, like any beer on nitro, like if you do a nitro beer really well, I mean, just ask Guinness. They've been making Guinness forever. And,
Yeah,
and that's a really good example of a well done nitro beer. Some people don't like it. That's fine. Lots of people do. But I think that nitro dimension can add, if it adds something to your beer, sometimes it takes away.
Yeah.
But if it really makes something shine like it does in this beer,
Mhm.
it's like, wow, what the hell? How did they do
Yeah.
that? It's magic.
It really is.
And the nitro is part of that magic.
Yeah, try. I don't know what it is. Like, obviously, the flavor is good. Like,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's something.
There's something else. There's something I can't even put my finger on it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like
just there.
back here
It's like,
somewhere.
what the
I don't know
heck
what it just something
is going
sparked
on?
Yeah.
back here.
Your hypo, what is that called?
Hippocampus.
Hippopotamus.
My
Not that
yeah.
pituitary thing. I don't know
No,
what that does.
my frontal lobe.
Those are the only parts of the
Shiver.
brain I remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
Ooh, what we got?
I don't know.
Looks
Some-
like we got a delivery.
Maybe it's some yeast.
I
That'd be
hope it's
cool.
our yeast.
Maybe. He's got one box.
Bro, he just comes in the back.
Awesome.
Dude.
Yeah,
that's-
With open back door. Or what?
I think.
Yeah, the back, like we
the bay door.
like any business, we take deliveries in the back.
Okay.
Mike, you should understand. Come on, man. You understand, right?
No, I don't.
Don't-
Yeah, well, it's like, we're not in open tap room hours right now. We're in brewery open hours. So
Mhm.
Josh and I are always in the back, and so we leave the front door locked and we leave the back open, and so that's why all of our shipments and deliveries are taken to the back. The FedEx for our yeast, the big truck for our grain, everything. Like it's all through. We got a big old garage door back there that
Yeah.
we roll up. Yeah.
I worked for UPS for about 3 weeks,
Mhm.
and one worst. Now I'm not gonna say worst experience of my life, but it opened my eyes to a lot.
Was it you one of them holiday seasonal guys?
No, well, no. Okay, so they hired me on. Somebody had gone on like National Guard duty,
Ah.
and they knew they were coming back, but they had me come in
They just needed
anyway.
a temp.
Yeah, and so I was there for a week, chucking boxes in the those feeders.
Is this in Arkansas?
Yeah, and it's during the summer, so it's hot and
Ooh.
muggy, and there's grasshoppers all over.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, we have millions of grasshoppers, and in the morning they're all out and they're just all on you. And so you're chucking boxes the whole time. There's this guy who's been there for 2 years yelling at you because he finally gets to yell at somebody, "Go faster!"
Yeah.
He's wearing jean shorts. It's like, you're a jerk, but you're only 19, so you can't say much. But anyway, so you're chucking boxes, and then after a week, they're like, "All right, man, well, we got somebody coming back. We'll call you if we need you." And then on Friday, they call you at 4:30 a.m. Like, "Hey, we need you in today, so try to be here by 5." And you get there, and then they do that again the next week, and you say, "Nah, I'm not gonna make it." And that's your end of your career.
UPS career.
UPS, yeah. But I was gonna say, if I had stayed and maybe still moved to Houston, which that would have changed everything totally. But if I were delivering to breweries all day,
Mhm.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd probably go home with more like boxes than I started the day with all the beer and the t-shirts and
Yeah.
everything I would try to take. I'd be like, "Hey," get home to the wife, and hey, check it out.
Uh-huh.
Didn't
You're
make
supposed
any
to
money.
deliver this, not bring it back.
Didn't make any money today. Spent everything I made today on all the beers, but whatever.
Where do I get the grains from?
We
Locally. I know y'all try to keep everything local.
Yeah. Josh is the one who does all the ordering and stuff. Like we've got our distributor for like grains and stuff. I think they have they have warehouses all over. I think they have one in Houston. They've got one in Dallas. They've got them like out in Colorado. It depends on like what we're specifically ordering, where they have it in inventory. And then they'll try to consolidate the shipment all into one so that it all goes at one time and we only get charged for the one pallet of freight.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like how many? Okay, so when you do a 10-barrel,
Yes.
batch of Tasty AF,
We never do a 10. We do a 20.
okay, sure, okay. Well, okay, let's go.
That sells so much. We have to double batch it.
What's your biggest one? The most Russian Imperial Stout?
Like largest beer.
Well, yeah, as far as like the most grain.
Yeah. The biggest is definitely the Russian. Like that one threatens to break our mash tun every time we make it.
How many pounds of grain are in?
Actually, the first time we made it, we threw in probably like 1,200 pounds of grain into that mash tun. It's actually more grain than fits in our grist case, and so we mill the day before, right? And we fill up that grist case. And then when we go in, we start our mash. We get the hot water running. We get the grain flowing. We start emptying out that grist case, and then we mill the last few bags into the top of the pile of grain that we have.
So do you pre-mix all the grain, like specialties and base malts and all?
Yeah,
that,
so
that you're getting the same ratio.
Yeah, so like basically the way you want it to work out is like you start off with a couple bags of base malt because you want what's in the line fill to be just regular old grain, and then in the middle of your mill you start throwing in all your specialties, and then you wrap it up with more base malt because when you get to the very end of it, you're never going to get 100% of those grains. There's going to be like something left over in there. You just don't want to leave a bag of black patent for when you come back and brew a cream ale the next day.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I would never think of, but that makes so much sense. When you put it out like that. So that's cool. Do you know about that?
Mm-mm.
See, we learned something new. That would work with. I guess it wouldn't be that big a deal for home brewing because you just clean out your deal. You
wash it out.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to climb inside that auger slinky thing, all 30 feet of it.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
It's that's, I mean, when I'm on homebrew scale. I think, and then I want to, that might be my next thing. If I ever get some like really good video equipment and a bunch of people, like I need one guy with a boom mic all day.
Following you around?
Just all day. One guy with the camera, one guy with the boom mic, just follow me around. And then just like hang out for brews at at all the different breweries, see how they do it.
Yeah.
I'd love, like, that'd be a cool documentary.
Yeah.
If somebody had the revenue or the capital and the time and the ability to edit. And I mean, if I had, other than those things, I'd do it. I just don't have those. I don't have cameras or the ability to edit
Or the people.
or the
Staff.
capital or anything like that. But other than that, I'd be down. So Amazon, hit me up if you
Send me some stuff.
Yeah, if you want to get behind that.
I got this great idea. It is an in-work mockumentary.
Yes, exactly. With interpretive dance.
Yeah.
Also worked in there somewhere. I don't know. It's we'll work out the beats. But what's your favorite beer of the ones you have? Do you have one favorite? Or are they like your children?
I mean, like my children, I can't tell you that I have a favorite, but I definitely do, and it's the pale ale.
Is that your end of day beer typically?
Yeah. I mean, like my favorite changes all the time. Like it depends on what I've had most often, what I've had recently, like what I'm in the mood for. But like the pale ale, we've actually changed it since we first opened. We had an original recipe for that pale ale, and it went one way that we weren't too happy with. And so like when we got to the end of that batch, we just completely revamped it, totally changed up the style. And we kicked some new hops into it, and it's Citra and Amarillo now. And it's a wonderful hop combination that I have fallen in love with since we brewed it. And it has not dropped out of my top 5 on that board since we made it. It's a wonderful beer.
That's cool. I'm gonna try that next.
I know we just talked about your favorite beer here.
Yep.
And all these other local breweries. I know you're a busy man here.
Mm-hmm.
do you get a chance to get out to any other locals and just maybe talk to fellow brewers? I don't know, like for lunch, or go visit their brewery, drink their beer, go here, go there.
Yeah, I do sometimes. Like, you know, I've gone to visit a few different breweries, like just independently. We have the Craft Brewers Guild where one brewery just hosts it for the month,
Right.
and so that's an excuse to go out to another brewery, because like my time is taken up a lot by this place,
Right.
and then when it's not by this place, like, you know, I've got, you know, all my friends want to do stuff, and then I've got like all the books that I'm reading, and I've got my other friends on, you know, Xbox that they just got back on, so they want to play, so we sit down and we play. And
What
like,
are
you
you
know,
playing right now?
I'm on Call of Duty World War II.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the one game on that I own on the Xbox, because I went out and bought it because specifically they called me up. I was like, hey, we got our internet back. We're playing. It's like, cool, I'm out. But yeah, I've got the opportunity to go to a bunch of different places, but not nearly enough of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great beers out there that I really want to try that I just haven't had the opportunity to. A great thing that I run into being a brewer is that people come to me with cans of stuff that they've bought and be like, hey, you need to try this. Like, awesome. Yes, let's do that.
Excuse to drink more beer.
Yeah.
Different beer.
This is something that just, you made me think of this when you asked this question. I think in Houston, I think if there's one thing we're lacking in the beer world, is a good rivalry. Everybody gets along too well. Like, we need like two breweries. Maybe they were founded by two brothers or something that are bitter, you know, like
go their
separate
rivalry
ways
or something. Yes. We need something like that. I want a couple of breweries to kind of like volunteer for this.
Where like all they do is they sit down and they one up each other every
Yes.
single brew.
Yes, and they're always talking shit, and they're always trying to, you know, not sabotage, but, you know, still the thunder of the other one or whatever. It's
I
like,
don't know. Would that work?
I think if done right, it's like pro wrestling or something. You know, a good
Like a
Yeah.
storyline?
You can have the great hero.
Yeah. Get a face and a heel. Yeah.
Yes, you wouldn't have had Hulk Hogan. You wouldn't have had Hulk Hogan if you hadn't had the Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik Hulk Hogan went on, right? So you don't want to be the Iron Sheik in that deal, right?
Maybe a Macho Man.
But you have to have, you have to have a great, you know, rival to get to, you know,
To keep.
and I think we need that. I don't know how it's gonna. I'm gonna.
I don't know, but it's working fine right now, right?
No,
Working
we've
away.
got great beers and everybody gets along and it's awesome.
Yeah. And we all get to punch above our weight class at AB and Biff.
Yeah, well, there's that. Maybe that's the thing. Once they get toppled, you know, once that big building on I-10 just figuratively it just comes crumbling down.
Yeah.
like the gates of Mordor, you know, because everybody loves a good Lord of the Rings reference. Don't act
Yes.
like you don't know. Frodo, come on, man. You know, you've never seen Lord of the Rings? Never read the books?
Honest.
I know what we're doing this weekend.
Not watching that.
We're watching the trilogy extended edition.
That's too much like Star
Oh,
Wars.
man,
no, it's not
extended
any
edition.
sci-fi stuff.
Huh?
Oh,
The
yeah.
extended edition.
Yes.
With an extra 3 hours of content.
Three and a half. Dude, it's not Star Wars. It's one of the greatest books. The books are one of the greatest set of books of all time. I know you don't like to read.
No, I love to read.
You would love those.
You know I like to read. No.
Yeah. What do you read? Do you read anything that's like a story, or is it all like, you know, fire safety stuff? He's a volunteer firefighter, so it's always like sprinklers and the the Zen and the art of sprinkler repair. Whatever it is, you're always reading.
No.
You
I
read
read books.
like stories?
Yeah, I'm reading right now. I'm reading The Book Thief.
The Book Thief. What's it about?
This is a beer podcast. I don't want to talk about that.
But I mean, it's like a
It's a book. Yeah, it's a book. Novel.
like a fiction?
I think
Yeah,
they made a movie out of it.
Yeah, I think my sister read that one. My sister reads a ton of books, and she's
Yeah.
always recommending them.
Okay. So are we
Legit?
okay. So there's a movie.
I think so.
Who's in it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay. You're waiting until you're done reading the book.
Correct.
How far in are you?
3/4,
Would you recommend
4/5.
it? Okay. Who wrote it? Do you remember?
No,
Putting you on the spot.
I have it right here.
Does it have any pictures in it?
No, there's no pictures.
Hmm.
Well, there's like little graphic drawings that not graphic, but just part of the story.
Illustrations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. No, you don't have to. I mean, you can look it. Yeah, look it up and we'll plug it because
Mhm.
it sounds good. People say it's good. I don't know. That's what I'm hearing from you. And
Marcus
Alex's sister.
Zusak.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
Book Thief.
What's your
Mhm.
favorite book you've ever read?
I don't know. I mean, I've read some books, but not enough to have a favorite.
You should try Lord of the Rings. You would like it. That not with that attitude, you wouldn't.
I'm not reading that.
Do you like Lord of the Rings?
I did like Lord of the Rings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. It's great.
I read it in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I read it again not that long ago.
How many? There's a bunch of them, like 3 or 4.
Well, there's 3 in the Lord of the Rings trilogy,
Yeah.
which was actually started as one book, but they made him break it up because it was too long. And then
Yeah,
they,
it's
Is
like
that like
one.
that Game of Thrones thing?
no.
No.
I mean, the guy that wrote Game of Thrones said that Lord of the Rings is
It's an inspiration. Yeah.
best book or set of books that he's ever read.
Mhm.
But and then, The Hobbit, which was a kid's book.
Yep.
And then he came back with Lord of the Rings, which is semi-connected, sort of. They kind of
Yep.
forced it on the movies, though. I wouldn't recommend the Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay.
Like the Hobbit movies are visually stunning, but like
Yeah.
it was not meant to be a 9-hour epic.
No, it should have been 2 at the most.
Because you can read the book in like 6.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, they forced it too much. They tried to connect too much. They added. Yeah, these are real problems that we
Yeah.
have here in society today. Is what they did to the Hobbit movies. They should have. They tried. It was an epic try,
Uh-huh.
but ultimately it was too much. So, but we should read it for sure. Oh, come on. What kind of
I'm about to watch The Princess Diaries one of these days.
The
I
Princess
had-
Diaries?
What is it? The Princess Diaries? What's the book you have?
Well, there's that. The Princess Diaries. That would be hilarious if you came and
Yeah,
told me
Princess
you watched the
That's
Princess Diaries.
that's the Anne
What's the
Hathaway
one-
and the
what's the one
Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews, yeah.
What's the one you keep wanting me to watch?
Princess Bride,
Yeah.
Oh, geez, same thing.
No.
the world's best movie.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Right.
That
Do
one.
you think so?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Genius on this side of the table.
I got it now. It's sitting next to my DVD player. I
Uh-huh.
just need to stick it in and watch it.
That's quaint. DVDs.
Oh, that's what I have it on. So Kate gave it to me on.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Whatever you got to use.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. I think it's on Netflix now too, or it
I don't
was,
have
or
Netflix.
Amazon or something. You don't have Netflix?
Well, I have access to it. I can use hers. But
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
When are you getting married?
she has it on a hard copy.
When are you getting married?
She has Netflix on hard copy.
No. She has the DVD, the movie on hard copy.
Oh no, that's cool. Yeah, so do we on Blu-ray. But
I think it's DVD.
Blu-rays are old school now.
Mhm. Everyone knows today's Blu-ray is tomorrow's Red Ray.
Exactly. Y'all should do a Red Ray IPA or something. Like it's the future of
Uh-huh.
IPAs on a disc. All right. See, we're back. You never even knew we were gone.
Nope.
All the craziness.
We've
the
had
brain.
2 firsts in our brewery today during this show. First time our yeast decided to get lost at FedEx,
Uh-huh.
and then the first time we've ever gotten a pallet of grain that they couldn't drop to the ground with a lift gate because it was too short. They're like, you don't have a forklift? I was like, no, I ordered a liftgate service for a reason. Well, okay. I guess we're not going to deliver this grain today. I was like, nope, not today.
Golly.
And that's the first time we've ever had to have a shipment go back to get a better truck.
Yep.
That's
So
wild.
I don't know what the third thing that's going to be our first is going to be. but we'll
InterBrews
find
is
out.
bringing the storm today.
No, it's
Sorry about
good,
that.
man. It's, I was actually joking about like, I'm like, Josh, I'm glad we didn't have anything else going on today because if we did, it'd be a hell of a day.
Yeah.
'Cause usually we're working hard, but this is fun.
It's
So
a good thing our episode isn't boring.
yeah, right.
What are the grains for? Is it just like when you order grains, you say like what 1,700 pounds or something like that?
Yeah, so like we got our 10 barrel system. So we range anywhere depending on the gravity of the beer. We're in like 500 pounds all the way up to 1,000, and this is the most I can put in my mash tuns, about 1,000. I like to keep it actually around 900, 950 because it starts getting really weird. If I start pushing it too hard, I get all kinds of weird things happening. But so that's our range. So like about like a pallet of grains about 2,200 pounds.
Mhm.
So I can get anywhere from like 3 to 4 batches
Okay.
with that much grain. So I like the thing about it is like you know you're always trying to save money in a business. So like I'll order in like whole pallets. So I'll order like the beer, the grain we need for the beers we're brewing this week, and like a little bit for next week. You know?
Yeah.
I'm always trying to fill a pallet up because I pay the same amount per pallet no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we always fill up our pallets.
So like base malts and things like that, do you have like one particular that is used in most of your beers or half
Yeah.
of your beer? Or is that
No, that's absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, we got 2 different base malts that we pretty much use.
Yeah, we've got the domestic 2-row, and then we've got the English 2-row, the Maris Otter for the when you want it to be a little bit more special, for especially for like our darker maltier beers, our stouts, and like everything from amber up through stout. Those are the Maris Otter beers.
Mhm.
Our cream, wheat, blonde, all the pale ales and stuff. Those are the 2-row beers.
Yeah. Like all the IPAs and things like that. But like there's been the argument that you can't tell a difference, and maybe you can't. But I don't know. There's a lot of brewer superstition too. So, once you make a recipe and you got maris otter in it, you're just like, I don't know if I'm going to change it to two-row. Like, I feel like it's really good. Just leave it alone. But, you could take that chance. If I was a home brewer, I would.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it on 10 barrels of tasty.
No, but we also we talked about like not piloting systems, just making the beer whole big on the system, and then we'll sit down and we'll come up with an idea for the very first time we're going to brew this recipe. It's like, well, we could do it this way, that's extra complicated, or we could just not do it that way. We could do it the easy way and hope it's still just as good. Because if we make it the complicated way, we're never going to make it uncomplicated.
That's the other problem. Simpler is better. You start doing things the complicated way from the beginning, and if it turns out good, you do it that way for the rest of your life. If you do it the simple way and it turns out good, you got a lot easier way of doing things. I'm not gonna lie. I've done some stupid stuff. I'm not gonna get into it, but I've done some really complicated, dumb things that weren't feasible. And as we started like increasing frequency, I was like, you know what? I gotta do something different.
Well, speaking of, so looking at your board, a lot of stouts.
Yep.
You got your hoppy profile here on the second tier, lighter stuff on the light, and then are there styles that we don't see on the board that maybe you're curious? You talked about your curiosity with the NEPA thing.
Definitely. I mean, that's when I'm that's a curiosity I'm willing to go for. Curious about all kinds of styles, but I mean, like sours, you're probably never gonna see those up on our board. Not anytime soon.
Yeah, not until we get the second facility and I can turn the 10-barrel system into a sour facility.
I'm not one of those guys that's willing to like do both in the same brewery. I mean, I know it can be done.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of discipline. But then I don't know anything about them, so like that's a whole realm that I would love to get into. But I'll probably hire somebody if I can have the ability to do that down the road that knows how to do that.
And like getting into like Belgians and stuff, we haven't made any of those yet. Getting into lagers, like we've not made a single lager yet. But I really like them. Like I like lagers. I like Belgians. I like a lot of different beer, and I want to make a lot of different beer. We've just we've had a
comfort zone.
We've had a limited capacity on what we can put out. And so like that's what we've made. And then like what's up on the board there isn't even everything we've made so far. Like that board changes all the time. We've got our amber and brown up there and the Russians, but come the end of summer when fall starts, we're gonna make the porters, and those are gonna come back. And
try to get an ESB in there.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get an ESB back in there. We've made the ESB before. We've made a red before.
The pumpkin stuff.
Yeah, we made
we're not doing that.
We made a
year.
pumpkin. We made a saison, but we're not doing those this year.
We're doing Oktoberfest.
Yeah, now we're gonna do an Oktoberfest.
Okay. So, is it gonna be a lager? Or
no,
we're
gonna cheat.
No,
it's gonna be like the blend of yeast that gives you that lager characteristic. But I should have made my Oktoberfest back in July.
Yeah, because we're making our Oktoberfest in August. It's not gonna be a lager.
Straight up honest. To do it right, and some breweries do a fantastic job doing it the right way. I'm gonna try it the easy way, and I hope it turns out good.
St. Arnold's is a ale, and it's fantastic.
It's a delicious beer.
So I've made a Doppelbock as a home brewer. I've made lots of lagers, a couple, like 5 or 6. I would say lots. Actually, they're not very many at all, but they're all like very different than the ales. So like there is something special about a lager when you do it right and get it really clean and you make it like flawless. It's quite a treat. It takes time. So the thing we don't have. There's 2 things we don't have. We don't have time. So if we had time, we could do it. Now that's good. It's good that we don't have time because we wouldn't be in business very long if we had time.
Yeah.
Because if people weren't buying our beer and we just could keep it in our tanks, tanks that we have for very long.
Please don't stop buying our beer. Don't give us time.
So we don't want time. It's good to not have that. So the other option is more tanks, and we're working on that.
Yeah.
And maybe one day, we'll crank out a batch of a lager just because we're curious.
Yeah.
And it'll turn out really well. There's a black lager that I made that I would love to try and do like a Schwartz beer.
Yeah.
Another fun idea that we've kind of tossed around, and we haven't made before, is a pepper beer.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I'm gonna leave that to Alex.
Yeah.
I stay away from pepper.
My dad made a pepper beer one time that turned out really nice, and I kind of want to follow that model on a pepper beer that we make here.
You mean like peppers, like
jalapeno serrano, like
okay, because I've done a bock with peppercorns.
Oh yeah.
So I guess technically that's a pepper.
That is a pepper
beer, but it's a little different. What do you have like a favorite pepper?
I mean, like I love the flavor of jalapenos. They're a good beer. My dad made the Serrano pepper beer, and that one turned out really nice. Habaneros are really good. You can scale down the spice on a habanero.
Yeah.
I've definitely made the mistake because I was a dumb college student, and we went to the store and we bought like a bag of like 6 habaneros, and we only used like 1 or 2 of them in the dish that we made, and so we had like just 4 of them left over in the fridge. And I was making a sandwich one day, and I chopped up the entire habanero and threw it on my sandwich, and that was an experience. That was a lot of fun, but it was not a smart thing to do.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a ride you can't. get
Yeah.
off of. Once it's started, you're on it.
Yeah.
Until
Because you can't leave half a sandwich.
How would you? I mean, I've heard of and I've had pepper beers.
Yeah.
How does that work? Where do you add that? Let's just say on a home brew scale.
Uh-huh.
Where would you add that to?
Or
When would you add it?
Like, I honestly didn't ask my dad enough questions about how to make that pepper beer, but there's a few different places that you can throw it in, depending on how much of what kind of flavor you want. You can throw it in to the boil and kind of mess with the whole peppers that way. You can throw them in late stage, like after fermentation, and just get a pull of the oils, the capsaicin to give it the heat. There's a lot of different things you can do.
And how would you prepare that? Slice it, chop it up.
Yeah, slice it, chop it up. You have the option
Put
of
it in a
grilling or
bag.
toasting them, depending on how
you
you
end up
want
with
to do
more
the flavors. Yeah.
surface area if you chop it up in little
Yeah.
bits, right? So it's going to affect everything.
Apparently, we're not supposed to talk about pepper beers either. We're just gonna keep getting phone calls.
So,
No, go ahead.
so you just what you said you could grill it and then just kind of string it, slice it, chop it up, and then when would you put it in one of the bags or let it dangle? Or how
Yeah.
would you-
So like a homebrew setup, if you're gonna you make like a hot bag, you throw peppers in that too, just because it's easier to clean up that way.
Okay.
We could do that on ours, if either during the boil or in the fermenter or whatever, we can make a hot bag kind of thing and toss it in there. That way it's just easier to pull back out.
Sure.
But the way that we manage our tanks, and the way that we clean them, we don't really have to do the homebrew setup of throwing things into a hot bag to toss them in and pull them back out. We can get away with just throwing the ingredients
Whatever
straight in, and then we can either whirlpool the kettle so that everything collects in the center, or we can dump off the bottom of the fermenter so that everything comes out before we transfer it over. That way we're not putting active material either through the heat exchanger into the fermenter or out of the fermenter through the bright tank into the keg. You don't want to put a lot of solid matter in those things, because you'll gum stuff up, and it's an opportunity for things to get dirty, and you just don't want that.
Right.
Yeah. Are you thinking of doing a pepper beer now?
I mean, that's
I've been thinking about doing a pepper beer since we had the one guy mention it to us, and was like, yes, I definitely want to do that.
There's a lot of different ways to do it. I
Yeah.
mean, even just you look like No Label has their Don Jalapeno and their Hatch chili beers just come out. It's out.
would you use corn, some maize?
Well, it depends on the style you're making.
Yeah, I think that'd be
Like Lone Pint has their Undead Head Ed, which is these ghost peppers in a porter.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
I've had a ghost pepper beer one time, and it was legit. It wasn't oh, this is a ghost pepper beer because we made it with the flavor of ghost peppers. It was a legit this beer is a ghost pepper. It's one 12-ounce bottle, and you're gonna split it with 12 guys.
Yeah. I feel like Randall's have kind of gone out of style.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that people still do that, but I feel like they've kind of. I don't know that we've evolved.
I've only ever seen a couple of them recently. Yeah.
But I wonder if you Randalled a beer through ghost peppers.
Ooh, that'd be ridiculous.
How much of this could you drink?
Yeah.
That might be the next big challenge.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, some of those the super peppers, like habanero and ghost peppers, they have real fruity flavors to them. Habaneros are real citrusy.
Yeah.
When you get past your face is on fire.
Yeah, I really like it.
But at Lone Pint, they did a habanero yellow rose. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
I think it's after I got this next little thing that I'm going to try. I like to research some pepper.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Who did I talk to? I talked to somebody. This was a long time ago. You know who it was? It was who was it? Anyway, somebody that the name will come to me in a second. Somebody did a bell pepper beer.
A bell pepper beer.
Yeah.
I mean, bell peppers are tasty.
Yeah.
Green? What color?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'd have to go back. It's an old episode. I can't remember it. The name escapes. I guess I should have just kept that one to myself.
Yeah.
Now you've just disappointed.
It's kind of an undeveloped
But
thought
see,
there.
like, now kind of, I'm thinking about it, making a 5-gallon. I mean, that's a lot for a home brewer.
A 5-gallon?
Yeah. I mean, if for peppers, and if you don't like it, if it comes too hot.
Oh yeah.
You
If,
know?
if you mess it up, it can be a lot of beer.
Right.
I tried doing that with a pumpkin porter. I tried adding like ancho chilies and stuff like that, and it didn't quite turn out. So then the next time I did add a little ancho chili powder to the spices, and that ended up being pretty good.
Yeah.
How big a batches?
It was 5 gallons.
Both of them?
Huh? No, well, the first time I split it into 5 different 1 gallon.
Gotcha.
And so I added like chocolate to one, and then because I'll smoke the pumpkins or the squash or whatever. Yeah, and then added like chocolate to one, pecans to another. What else? Ancho. No, ancho chilies or something, and then there's something else.
Anchovies.
Yeah, anchovies.
Anchovies,
Anchovy smoked pumpkin porter.
Yeah,
it was kind of a.
It's got a very rich flavor.
Yeah, it's like a like a New Zealand style pumpkin. I don't know. Do they eat a lot of anchovy or Italian? Where do they eat a lot of anchovies?
Man, like it's always on pizza in TV, but I've never met a person who orders it.
No, I've never met any. Other than
true.
I say, you know why I say New Zealand? I heard Josh say WWE wrestlers, and that triggered in my mind the bushwhackers back in the day. They used to eat anchovies. They just you got it.
I mean, like the New Zealanders make some delicious hops. Like they've got all the hot shit out there now. Like like the when you go and you look on the spot market for these hops, they're like $30-$40 a pound. You're like, I'm gonna buy it.
After some quick, careful consideration.
Yeah, what is it about New Zealand? They don't have much land. It's like an island, right?
Yeah. It's an island, and it's an island mostly populated by sheep and a little bit by elves, and
and bushwhackers, the sheep herders.
And no, but like they've got an excellent climate for hop growing, and like the hops that they have developed out of New Zealand, like one is the climate for it, and two is just the specific strain of hop that they have developed has got just the most wild and out there intense flavors that like no one else is producing. Like I think my very favorite hop is probably the Nelson Sauvin, and it's got this white wine grape flavor that like the only one that even imitates it is Hallertauer Blanc, and it's a pale shadow. Like I've had beers with Hallertauer and they're good, and I've had the same beer with Nelson and it's so much better.
Yeah, who would have thought
so
that?
Just the hop,
Like back when New Zealand became a thing. Like I know Australia is like a colony that was a bunch of prisoners. I guess New Zealand was always its own thing, right? Yeah, islanders, whatever. But
it's actually its own continent.
New Zealand?
By so not by like the maps, but like by the plate tectonics. If you talk to geologists, New Zealand is its own continent,
like on its own plate.
Yeah, like the sea that runs out away from New Zealand is all like really shallow because the ground there is actually it's less dense than seabed, but it's denser than regular continental shelf. That's why all of like Asia, Europe, Africa, those are all above water. And you know, like the Atlantic and the Pacific are below water, but like New Zealand is like got this weird mix. So like the island itself is above, and then like the entire seabed out next to it is like just below a little bit of water, and then it drops off again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Maybe that's part of it.
Yeah,
and that's why their rugby team's so good too.
Yeah, it's because they've been lying about being part of Australia this whole time.
Yeah, they're their own thing. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I bet it does.
Yeah,
like nutrients in the soil and stuff like that. Yeah, that's stuff you never think about. Yeah, it's like billions of years. Took billions of years to get to this point where this one plant for this thing we make called beer.
Yeah.
Blow your mind. Yep.
Yeah. Like Australia is where God decided to make everything kill people, and New Zealand is where God decided to make everything make beer better.
Yes. Yeah, because you're going to need it. It's like if you can get away from that island and get to this island, then there you go. That's your reward. For all your hard work. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Australia. Do they have hops in Australia?
They do.
Do they kill you?
No, they're actually just as delicious as New Zealand hops. I'm trying to like in my head like parse out which ones are Australian and which ones are New Zealand, and I don't remember which ones are specifically Australian. I assume all of them are New Zealand until I learn that one of them is Australian.
But it's all about the like the latitude and longitude, right?
Yeah.
Or longitude.
Mhm.
Longitude's this way.
Yeah, longitude is the one that goes left and right because that's the one that the guy had to make the watch that can keep time perfectly on a ship.
Yeah.
Because that's the book I read in 7th grade.
Okay. Was that Lord of the Rings? Mike wouldn't know anything.
It actually was included in Lord of the Rings, but it actually got evolved into its own separate book called Longitude that I read in science class.
The Longitude of the Rings.
Yeah.
Is what it was called. You should read it, Mike. You'd love it. I think you would like it. What is your hold up? What do you think it's about?
No, it looks too fake for me.
Too fake.
It looks too fake. Like you've held a book before, right?
I'm talking about the movie.
There's a story. Though.
Okay, so like the genre is called fantasy. So
Yeah, that genre right there.
Okay.
I don't know.
So what's the last movie you saw?
Movie?
Yeah. You obviously do you ever watch any movies that have any
I don't.
fakeness in them?
Oh, I don't know. Probably.
What's the last movie you saw?
I don't remember.
Do you watch movies at all or show? What shows
Rarely.
do you watch? You watch all
I
reality?
just watched The
shows?
Americans. Actually,
That's
Just
fake.
finished.
that's fake.
That's totally fake.
Yeah.
Those people didn't get. First of all,
Every one of them is an actor.
Yes. Yeah, Kerry Russell. Look, who's the guy that plays the husband that plays
Matthew Reeves.
he's Welsh. Have you ever heard him talk?
Yeah, I have.
Welsh. He's Wales. Does it sound like I sound?
He's not American.
No, not at all.
Fake.
He's not Russian or American. Doesn't sound anything like he does on that show. You can hear it come through a little bit. I did a podcast on that show for the first 4.5 seasons.
Wow.
And then we dropped off. And then the show became garbagey because they pushed it out too much.
Garbagey.
Yeah, they tried to. The FX does that.
Yeah.
Like Sons of Anarchy was how many seasons? 9 or 10?
Yeah, something like that.
It's too many.
Yeah.
It should have been 7.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad got it perfect. 5 seasons for Breaking Bad. There was no throwaway season. There was maybe 1 or 2 throwaway episodes, maybe.
Like even then, like it got wild, but it still stayed within the realm of Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like they didn't add too much to it.
Yeah.
They didn't just say, "Oh, let's do one more season because we're making money." That's what they did with Sons of Anarchy. And it really did.
No,
Sons of Anarchy started strong.
I love those self-contained stories. Like it's got a definite beginning, middle, end, and they knew where it was going to end, and they didn't go past it.
Yes. Yeah, that was the problem with like
Which one? Breaking Bad?
Well, just like any show.
Breaking Bad is probably the best example. Justified, they did really good too.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is the best example. It is exactly 3 seasons, and it is a perfect television show.
Is it? Like,
yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, Justified was pretty good too. There may have been a little bit of fat that they could have trimmed, but as far as like having a series arc, season arcs, and then like 3 season arcs, and 4 season arcs, and characters that like would go away and come back and pop in. Like to watch that from beginning to end, that's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Because we started watching it week to week back in the olden days when you actually had to wait for shows to come out and you like TiVoed it or whatever people do. But now, and then I went back and watched it all on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. It's a great binge watch for stories.
It's pretty much what I did with the last season of Americans on my DVR.
Yeah. That show, it tanked. The ending was horrible. I'm sorry. I'm going to come.
We can't talk about it.
Why?
Well, I guess we could because people don't. Well, no, I don't know.
No, it's, if you haven't watched it by now, don't bother. Here's what happened. Okay, so we started out. Okay, so I had a podcast called Rise Comrades.
Yeah.
That me and my buddy Greg did. For the first 4 seasons, 4.5 seasons, and we got like 3 or 4 episodes into season 5, and we're just like, can't do it. I think, or no, maybe. It was 7 seasons, right? Then they push it out to 6 or 7.
7. Yeah.
I don't know. I never actually watched it.
It started out super strong. It was really good at the beginning. The writing was really good. It was a new concept. It was based on like true events and that sort of thing. It followed history, and they would weave that in, and then they just stretched it out, and it just got what went from a slow burn to just like a, and then they didn't at the end. They didn't get. There was no justice in the end. I didn't.
It was like
they should have.
His mind was blowed.
No, it wasn't blown. I was like, they didn't. It was just like nothing. It was a nothing end. It was nothing. They should have all those Russians. They should just all those. Yeah, they murdered so many people, and they should have met their justice, and they did not.
Wasn't Justified?
No, Justified was great.
No, I'm saying it wasn't Justified.
No, I'm saying it's no Justified. Justified, far better show. Anyway,
it's good.
Yep.
Yeah, it had so much potential, but disappointing, and that's why I no longer.
What did you just finish there?
Oh, the strawberry milk stout.
Yeah, this is a beer podcast, right?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If y'all want to talk beer, we can. How much strawberry is in this beer?
So it's I actually don't know like how much actual strawberry you're gonna get in that glass, but like the strawberry character is definitely strong. Like if you've ever had strawberry milk when you were a kid,
Yes.
like we took strawberry milk and we made a stout out of it
Yeah,
and we serve it on nitro.
it's great. It's very good. It's like you know what it is? It's like what cereal?
Great.
It's like I'm trying to think of the cereal that has some strawberry, like
Do you get the leftover strawberry that it
it's
like?
like Captain Crunch with crunch berries,
you get
or
the peanut butter
So,
leftover.
yeah.
something that had some strawberry, like maybe the crunch berries or strawberry or something.
The crunch berries or like the fruity pebbles or like
Something.
yeah.
That has a strawberry leftover.
Yeah.
That
Something
makes
like
your milk
in-
taste like that.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's like, but not sweet, like, but like there's that. That's what it kind of
Yeah.
made me think. Made me think of Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Watching
Beer.
like, the real Ghostbusters or something.
Oh yeah.
That was which
Slimer.
Slimer and the real Ghostbusters. I like. Yeah, they threw his name on there to just up marketing.
Yep.
I Wikipedia'd that one day. That's one of those. That's one of those you like when you start Wikipediaing like kid stuff, the stuff you did as a kid,
Yeah.
and you're just like 4 hours later, you're like, oh yes, now I understand.
Yeah.
I was a dumb
Everything.
kid.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So there was Ghostbusters the movie. They're like, we got to make a cartoon, and then they Slimer was the character that became most popular. So then they
Yeah.
threw his name on the front of it,
So that everyone would watch it.
and then they put Slimer on the high C, the ecto cooler thing.
Uh-huh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Because he was the most popular.
Yeah.
But he didn't do all that much more. He couldn't talk. Yeah, that's it. That was it. You could have played Slimer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slimer ate hot dogs.
He ate all the hot dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a dozen at a time with mustard
especially in the movie.
for breakfast.
Oh,
Yeah.
and let me
Where did
say,
it go?
did you watch the new one?
The new what?
The new Ghostbusters movie?
No, I didn't get to see
Oh,
that.
I didn't.
The one
get
with the
to see
girls?
it. Yeah, no.
Oh, the single worst movie I've ever seen in my life. So I was somebody turned it on kind of in the background, and literally I had no idea what it was. Within 3 minutes, I was like so annoyed. I was like, what is it? We've got to turn this off. It was, I mean, just maybe the worst movie I've ever seen.
Man.
And that's, and
There's a lot of movies.
there are a lot of movies, and I've seen a lot of movies. I watched Universal Soldier: The Return with Bill Goldberg as the, Goldberg. Yes, and that was really bad.
Universal Soldier, wasn't it like Von Damme movie?
Yeah, but the Universal Soldier: The Return
Oh,
had Van Damme,
man.
but it also had Goldberg when he was at peak Goldberg.
Nice.
WCW.
Before he started spearing people.
No, he was spearing people.
No.
No, this was during that. It was like, we got to take this spear action
Nice.
Put it into our
In the
movie.
movie. So he tried to do what The Rock did, but he failed.
miserably. It was
yeah.
maybe the worst movie ever. That was
The
the worst
only
movie.
wrestler that ever pulled that off was Dwayne.
Oh,
Dwayne
and
Johnson.
then some,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
That guy's
Love
worth
the guy. Love
Yeah,
the guy.
he should run for
He's $1 million
president.
bucks, man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like if he came walking into this.
But I
man-
gotta give thumbs up to Goldberg for trying.
I mean, yeah, sure.
I didn't even see that movie.
A for effort.
No,
Now I gotta try it.
it's so
I'm all
bad.
about Bloodsport. Man.
It's a yeah. Look, yes. Well, Bloodsport was excellent. The what was the one he was on? The Expendables, was it 3 that Van Damme was on? That one was pretty good.
3 had everyone in it.
Yeah.
Dude, what was the one where he got crucified?
Oh,
Yeah, he literally they like crucified him.
that was Jim Caviezel. That was Passion for the
Oh,
Christ.
okay.
Passion
okay.
of the Christ.
Yeah.
That's totally
No,
different.
Von Damme got he fought some big dude like a cyborg. This is old school.
Oh, Universal. Well, that was Universal.
Was that the
Soldier.
first one?
Yes, where he fought Ivan Drago.
No, it's a different dude.
But that was the first.
Man,
Universal
there's a
Soldier.
lot of Von Damme. Yeah.
There was Double Impact where he fought himself.
Ooh.
Remember, he had the mullet.
That's
one
right.
one
that's
of them
right.
had a
Oh yeah,
mullet.
he fought himself. Golly, yeah, that guy. He does a lot of good things for the community, though. So.
Oh yeah, he's a stand up dude. He also had that show RV. What is it? JV CD or whatever.
Hey man, if you're modeled after a character in Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
you're all right in my book.
Yeah,
made
it
it.
is.
Mhm.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, Ghostbusters worse than Universal Soldier: The
You
Return.
believe it, believe it.
But
Yeah.
Universal Soldier: The Return worth watching because it's so bad. That's one of those movies.
It's a train wreck.
Yes.
All right.
Ghostbusters not even worth. That's how bad it is. Not even worth. The new
Oh,
Ghostbusters.
man.
Not even
Dang.
worth watching. Yeah.
I didn't catch it. I don't get to see too many movies these days. I only get to see Disney stuff.
Yeah, me too.
But that's what so maybe another 5 years I'll get back into the movies.
How old are you kids?
5 and 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going into middle school this year. My oldest daughter is
Oh, wow,
going into
yeah.
middle school. Scared to death.
You can start seeing like some of the other stuff, like PG-13.
We've watched all the
or maybe you're already doing it.
Yeah, we've just
Yeah.
gotten through all the Marvel movies.
Nice.
nice.
So
Yeah.
well, I say all. We're up to Infinity War. We haven't watched it yet.
My
Okay.
7-year-old
Yeah.
keeps asking for Jurassic Park and Pirates of the Caribbean, and I'm like, yeah. And my wife's like, no. All right,
We-
dude, you're gonna have to keep waiting.
Pirates we watched probably a little too early, but they liked it.
Yeah.
And then there was just a few nights where they came and slept with us after that because of the skeleton.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
scary stuff,
It's a
man.
little
Yeah,
spooky,
it is
but
spooky.
It's fun.
We did Star Wars, the new ones, like a little too early, and I was like, "Oh, that was some serious stuff."
Yeah.
Just happened right there. Like Han Solo just got like destroyed.
Yeah, it's a little dark,
Whoa.
right?
He
just
cried,
got his
man.
son murdered.
These like tears would come out of his eyes, like, "Oh, I just crushed some innocence there."
Yeah. We tried watching Jaws because the 70s and 80s
Yes.
PG way different.
Dude, they're way different, man.
There was no PG-13.
Jaws is PG. Like,
Yeah.
what does that even mean?
And it should be. We were 5 minutes into it, and my oldest, she's crying.
Yeah, it's traumatic.
That little boy gets eaten.
Dude, that's so messed up.
It's like so dark. It's like
I think I saw it at the same age. and
It
had
doesn't
just
matter
so
that
much
the
trauma.
graphics are terrible. It's the content.
they never even showed the shark.
Yeah.
They just showed this bloody raft go up on it. It's like even worse.
Yeah.
Like, had they shown it, you'd have been like, that's obviously fake.
Yeah.
They didn't show it.
Dude,
Because your imagination just fills it in.
Well, all those people are just running to
That's
get their
right. It's
own.
almost like reading a book, man.
Yeah.
Watching movies back then. You had
Yeah.
to part of your imagination still filled in the gaps.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you don't need that.
Mike, did you watch Jaws? Because that's fake.
Yeah, I don't remember it though. I mean, I know what it is, but
Oh man, dude, it's one of the best scary movies of all
The
time.
best
Yeah,
line,
I-
smile, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Boom, blows that shark up. That's great. I don't even know. Would that actually happen if you shot an air tank?
Yes,
Would
yes, it
Well,
would. I mean, I'm
they-
gonna believe
They
this.
they myth busted that one time.
Probably
and it
not.
depends where you shoot it. Like if you shoot it like in the base, like he did, like it just turns into a rocket. If you shoot it in the side, it can like rip open and turn into a bomb.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
Wicked.
Yeah.
but he had it in his mouth. So if he had shot into like a rocket, it could have gone up through his, like killed the shark.
Oh,
It
yeah.
still would have killed him. It just wouldn't have been as dramatic.
Yeah, all those pieces of shark.
But you know how movies are. They
But
gotta like.
that's
make
the
it,
thing I never got though. You know, of course, then Richard Dreyfuss comes swimming up. Like, where
Yeah.
were you? I was just there's actually an island over here. I was sitting on that. It
Yeah.
would have been fine. He just swims up, and there's all that blood, and a bunch of other sharks would have come up, right? Just normal sharks, but like 20 of them.
Yep.
All dead.
Mhm.
That'd been fun. Like, oh, we
True.
killed the horrible mad, the huge shark, and then like all these other sharks just come
You
up.
could just make a red Nipa called Chum.
Ooh, there you go. That would be,
Say, y'all, come on, somebody do it.
yeah, chum, and then just do like Jaws screenings at the. That would be cool.
That'd be wicked.
Yeah, and you could sell kiddie pools for people to sit in. You can't like build a pool here, but you could ever get their own pool.
Yep.
Sit in it, watch the.
People would be like, Chum, Chum,
Mm-hmm.
Chum, Chum.
It's a great movie though. But yeah, we couldn't get through it, so now I've just got to watch it on my own. And that's the problem with like Amazon. They're all on Amazon or on Netflix. We were one of them.
Both, yeah, actually, different movies are in each one, so you buy them
Mm-hmm.
both.
Yeah. Well, we've got.
Maximize your expenditures.
Yes, but you start watching Jaws 1. It's like, well, now I got to watch Jaws 2 because it's pretty
Yeah.
good too.
And that's the one that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then Jaws 3 is back on Amazon.
Yes, but Jaws 3, that one's pretty bad.
That's not good.
It's got the guy from Iron Eagle. He flies his jet in, lands. He's like,
True.
now I run SeaWorld or whatever. And then Jaws 4, which is really weird. Did you ever see that one?
No,
No.
you've gone beyond.
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. They yeah. I think the shark growls at the end.
Growls.
Yeah, it, like
Yeah.
jumps out of the water. It's like, "Rah!"
Yeah. Like all sharks do.
Yes. He's a part bear, part
Yeah.
he's a bear shark. So it's like that Far Side cartoon
Uh-huh.
where the shark's like yelling at the people on the beach, bear, bear, and they're running in the water. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
the shark's just sitting there.
Nice.
Anyway.
I missed y'all on the whole. I mean, I'm taking this way back, but on the whole pepper beer thing,
Go for
Oh
it.
yeah.
I had a little
Let's
nugget of
rewind and
wisdom.
let's talk about beer again.
But I had a nugget of wisdom that I got from some fellow astronauts that have been doing this for a really long time.
Uh-huh.
And I always ask that same question because the pepper beer is always the scariest thing to do. Because you said that's a
Mhm.
lot of beer.
Mash nuts, by the way, are is our
the
local homebrew club. Yeah.
They made me a better brewer
Yeah.
as I was like a hobbyist.
How many NASA guys are in that?
A bunch.
There-
I
yeah,
don't
there's
even
a
know.
few.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
Any real astronauts?
I don't know a
That's a good
single
question.
astronaut that's
Oh,
actually
no.
in it, but I know a bunch of guys in the Mash Nuts work at NASA.
Quite a
Yeah.
few.
Yeah.
Quite a few good brewers. And so the thing that they would do on a home brewing scale, the best way, the medal winning way, like if you're competitive, or just the best way to come up with a beer that you could control is to make a tincture.
Yeah.
And so you would
You make your own pepper extract.
make your own pepper extract. So you would just chop up like peppers as fine as possible, and you just like put it in like a spirit, like a really like clean one, like vodka or something,
Mhm.
and let it soak it up, and you just like you come up with some concentrated pepper vodka.
Mhm.
Or you do your best, but like it doesn't matter what happens to that tincture.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter the strength. You can't control that. I mean, maybe you can measure it, maybe not. But they would do these, and then you would just add droplets of it
Mm.
to beer.
There you go, Mike.
You know, like
The,
you pour a pint.
the liquid, not the fluid, not
yeah,
the
this,
actual.
this tincture, this vodka that was
you
soaked in
leave the solids
peppers.
behind. You
know
just
what I mean?
take the liquid.
You take the
Yeah.
liquid out. So you pull all the pepper oils and the juices and everything.
Uh-huh.
That alcohol and the vodka would just soak it all up.
Okay.
And so now you have this like pepper vodka. You know, you make your own pepper spirit.
Right.
It's a tincture, and you're basically making a pepper extract.
Right.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the best part about that is you created this concoction that you can control now by adding it to a beer. So is it 2 drops? Is it 4 drops? Who knows? You figure it out. But they would do that, and you know, if you know what you can do with that is you can make your beer with that, and you can add however much to 5 gallons and get the right pepper flavor, and then whatever's left over, you make good Bloody Marys out of it.
There you go.
But I'm telling you, like some of the best like home brewers that are in the area
Yeah.
have been doing this for years and winning medals on pepper beers.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
the thing.
if I ever did it on a homebrew scale, that's how I would do it. I would, but you know, like it's kind of the same thing. You're like, in the end, like you're always trying to make a tincture or an extract or something that captures the essence of the flavor, if you can.
Yeah.
For something that's hard to get, like peanut butter or peppers. But if there's something like fruit or something, then you just throw that in there, and then you got to do some other things. But
Okay.
sometimes all you got to do is just throw a fruit puree and just let it go.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that works, like with certain things. Like
Yeah.
brewing is about like fumbling through it
Yeah.
sometimes, and also learning from others.
Yes. Yeah. That's
So
cool.
that was my little.
Okay.
I wanted to add that, and then the dang truck showed up. They couldn't drop the pallet, and then the whole other thing happened.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I'm glad you brought it
People are
back.
getting the wrong impression what it's like to be the owner of a brewery. Like they're thinking like eight times a day you have a problem. It's not
They're also
true.
getting the wrong impression about this podcast because we're just sitting here talking about movies and books and shit. And
That's
then you come
okay,
back
man.
and bring us back to beer.
I couldn't help it, man.
That's good. That's good.
It's good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All things are good.
No, yeah, it's good. I'm just saying the American's not worth. So disappointing.
Yes.
I think
Full
that-
circle.
Full circle. I think the American's not worth watching because it started out so good and ended so bad. Not like Alf bad where it left you hanging, but just like super disappointing.
Yeah, I hear you on the Alf thing.
Yeah, it's like what happened to Alf? And we get some
I don't know.
halfway done TV movie
Uh-huh.
17 years later. Come on now. Did you watch Alf, Mike?
The
Too fake?
sitcom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You watched that wasn't too fake for you?
That was like a Friday night thing, right? Like a
don't-
Monday night, Tuesday night,
I don't remember.
prime time.
Dude,
Yeah,
I watched Alf
after
like
school.
we watched like Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
It was religious.
I don't
Yeah.
remember what night it came on.
I don't either.
I-
Probably blacked that out.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah,
Right on to at Full House.
that was Full House was Friday. That was TGIF.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It
saying.
was Full House and
Maybe it
then
was on
Family
Sunday
Ma-
night,
Family
Sunday-
Matters.
Sunday
No.
before a football game or something.
I think Alf was like a Tuesday.
See, if your show's on Friday, like part of the whole reason why it's successful is because you're so happy it's Friday.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's kind of unfair to the show.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Maybe they put shows on Friday for a reason.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
felt like that. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I work at night. I don't know what's on anymore. So
It's all on Netflix and Amazon, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I don't even start shows until like 2 seasons in now.
Yeah.
Let other people do that.
Well, you got to binge watch.
So you can binge.
Yeah,
it.
that's
There's
what I'm
no
saying.
point in waiting for the next episode. You need
No.
a buffer.
Yeah.
A couple season buffer.
Yes,
I'm with
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I want to see if it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Because
If
if
it
it's
sucks, you can
If it
just-
makes it through 2 seasons, then all right, I'll watch it.
that's a
Yes.
good point. That's a 2 season. Yeah, it's probably worth watching now.
Yeah, if people are talking about it and that sort of thing.
So
You
we,
want-
maybe we made 2 years, so maybe we're worth talking about.
Absolutely.
There you
That's-
Well, at least we're drinking some of
definitely.
this
We're
beer.
gonna binge watch your beers.
Yeah, everybody
drink.
wants to. Don't binge drink it, but binge watch.
No, that's a bad
Yeah.
idea. Always drink responsibly.
Yeah, of course. Small cups. And,
Yeah.
see, that's another thing. There's so many good beers. Like I want to try them all,
Yeah.
but I'll just have to come back.
Another day.
You can
another
come back,
time.
man,
Yeah.
or you can try them all. We'll send you home with some.
All right. We'll see. No, yeah, it's you really got to kind of see. That's the thing. Do you go and you go and try everything, or do you say, you know what, I'm going to get really into like one beer and have two
That's a good question.
beers?
I mean, like my thing when I go to a place that I've never been to before, I look at everything they have to offer, and if they've got more than 2 things that I want to drink, like
Flight?
I want the flight. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want to try like 4 or 5 things that because like I want to get an experience of like what you can make. I want to know like what everything tastes like. Because like I want it to all be good, and it almost always is.
And I think I'm usually the opposite. If I would go out, when I've been out to Austin or San
Uh-huh.
Antonio, I'll just get a pint of this one,
Mm-hmm.
a pint of that one,
Yeah.
probably 2 or 3 pints.
I don't
you
think
know.
there's a wrong answer, man.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
true.
don't. Like I think like if I go to my favorite restaurant or a restaurant that's Italian or Mexican, whatever it is, like there's always like that dish
Yeah.
that you get when you've never been to that place before that you judge it on.
Yeah.
So you might go to a brewery and you might just get a pint. That's what you're like. If they do this right, to me, they're all right. Or I'll be honest, like as I've become more into brewing, like as a brewer, as a commercial brewer, I've been like Alex, where I want to do like the whole experience. So like I've been wanting flights at places. Not everybody does that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when they say we don't do flights, I'm like, oh, how dare you?
Flights of pints.
Like, really? I can't drink 5 pints. Like, I really just want to taste all your beer, but you're not letting me do it. So, like, but I don't hold it against them because I understand flights are a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And not everybody wants to do it. So I don't hold it against them. But, like, it's funny. Like, as a brewer, I want to try flights, but I understand the whole, I'm going to go to this place.
I'm just gonna.
I'm going
go
to
for
get
it.
this pint.
Mhm.
And that says it all for me.
Yeah.
And there's no
Yeah.
wrong answer.
Right.
It's a personal decision. I think beer is a very personal thing. Like,
Yes.
like you're not going to like everything on that board, and that's okay.
Right.
I hope you like something,
Yeah.
maybe one or more
That's
more
true.
things.
I'm gonna have to keep trying till I find something I don't like because everything I've had.
And if I hear that, man, that's the best thing
Yeah.
I could ever hear, and that means a lot. And I want to hear the constructive criticism because we can't be better without it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm not good on the whole construct.
That's okay.
I'm a very like that had good
I feel the same way.
water,
Mhm.
or you know, try to find the positive,
Yeah.
like or something. You put it in that glass was clean,
Mhm.
way to, you know, or whatever, you know.
Hey, clean glass is a good start.
Oh yeah.
Some
There's
places don't do
yeah,
that,
I
man.
know, right? I've gotten that glass at the restaurant that had the lipstick still on it.
Oh no!
Oh,
no!
And it
That
was like,
wasn't your wife's.
no, they just brought it to me. And it's like 2 drinks in. I'm like, you see it, you know, you look down at the glass, you see it right there, and you're, oh no.
That's bad. That's bad.
You look at your wife. That's
So I
it.
have to say I've washed some glasses that I put on there that someone, a bartender, because I don't always wash the glasses, but I've had them think, hey, I was like, oh, yeah, I almost served that. Like,
Yeah.
we've been there. Like that
Well,
happens.
some of that lipstick's like
It
It's-
sticks.
NASA
like,
level.
you almost
like,
have to throw it away, the glass. You're like, here, just keep it.
yeah,
Like you got to go in and get it like an extra special scrubbing to get it
Yeah.
off.
yeah, you know, like paint thinner or
Yeah.
something. I don't know what they use on their lips, but there's nothing will
Let
take.
it
It's
come
gonna
off.
be. They're gonna look fabulous all night.
I thought
Yep.
the bubbles all over the sides of the glass was bad, but the lipstick, that's a good one.
The
That's a
lipstick
good
is
one.
that's probably the worst. And that's the thing. It's like on your date, or you know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
put it all over my face.
Yep.
Right in this area. On your glass, though,
Yeah.
no,
No, I don't want
there's
that there.
there's like polar opposites. It's like the last thing I want because I don't know who that is.
That's true.
Yeah, she's not my date. You know, why did she get? That's weird.
Because yeah.
All right. So hours. Let's talk hours real
Sure,
quick.
man.
You guys, are y'all open? How many days a week?
We are
So
open
we're actually
7
open,
days.
open
Yeah.
7 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. till I think in the
11?
summer it's 11.
Yeah.
When it gets cooler outside, 10. But it's not like we're ever going to kick anybody out. If there's a crowd, I know most
If you want to
people
hang
are,
out, we'll stay open.
are willing to stay open at least another hour. Like
Yeah.
so, it's usually till 11. 4 p.m. to 11 on Fridays.
On Fridays we open up at 2,
2.
and we stay open till closer to midnight.
We got live music on Fridays. We have a food truck on Fridays.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw. When I was in the restroom, the list was there.
Yeah, there's
We're-
all kinds of things going on. Like we
we're-
have
we're-
open mic on Mondays. We
Uh-huh.
have Tuesdays are kind of like a rotating thing. It's board games and poker.
And
Wednesday's trivia night. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thursday we have a retro video game
and
night.
Thursday nights are the nights that we
a
always
lot-
do
a
our
lot of
beer releases.
So
Yeah.
like
Oh.
the Doc Hop a Day.
Mhm.
It's our third New England IPA. So we had the Daisy,
Uh-huh.
the Daisy chain, which we got a yeast from Eighth Wonder.
Oh yeah.
They hooked us up with
Mhm.
some of the White Labs East Coast Ale yeast. That was the part of the Daisy Chain project, which was a really cool project. That was
Yeah.
the first New England. I literally heard that we could get that yeast from Aaron at Eighth Wonder. He's like, "Hey, why haven't you done this?" I was like, "Because I didn't get the yeast." He's like, "I got some." So
Mm.
we did it,
Mhm.
and I was like, "I know what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna try to make a New England."
Yeah.
So that was our first. It was Daisy If You Do.
Mhm.
Okay.
We released that on a Thursday.
We
and
released that
I
on a
think
Thursday.
we blew through a barrel that Thursday.
We blew through it, and we're like, "Dang it, we screwed up. We made a good beer."
Yeah.
But we were
And-
happy
yeah.
Yeah.
that we did that as well.
And
so
so,
then,
you know, we had our little homebrew competition
yes,
to get a bunch of homebrewers in
That's what
to
we're
like
drinking
you know
today.
make their NEPAs. And Andrew is the one. He's one of the astronauts who
Andrew
made.
Dow.
Yeah, he made this beer, the Jerk That Pistol. And so like we took that, we scaled it up, we tweaked it a little bit to make it like commercial.
But not much. Like it's
yeah.
funny. His recipe was really close to our Daisy,
Yeah.
but there
Yeah.
was a little bit of difference. So I did his water chemistry. I did
Mhm.
his grain bill, and he added. So our Daisy was Citra Mosaic hops,
Mhm.
and he did Citra Mosaic Ozaka. I was like, well, this is a very similar beer. funny thing is the Daisy was cloudier, hazier, lasted longer as far as the haze goes. Same amount of time. His beer is clearer, and we're trying to figure that out. We're like,
It's
what
the
the heck
voodoo.
is
It's all
we think
voodoo.
it's like voodoo, but
Yeah.
it's got to be in the grains or something. We're so that's the fun
Yeah.
part, man. We
Yeah.
made our Daisy.
Mhm.
It was a different yeast too. There's so two different beers,
Mhm.
different grain bill,
Yeah.
different water chemistry, a little bit different. There's a lot of changes. So like,
Yeah.
dang, this one stayed hazy for 6 weeks, 5 weeks.
Mhm.
This one in a couple weeks is starting
Yeah.
to go clear. It's not as hazy.
And
Even some people were like, "This isn't hazy." Oh, shake the keg a little
Yeah.
bit, make them happy.
and so
Like
this,
not everybody
yeah.
complains about that, but the people that do, were like, "We don't want to mess with those people."
yeah.
Yeah.
So this one's the
I want
second.
to make them
yeah.
happy.
This one's the second release. It's the Jerk That Pistol.
Yeah.
We released it also on a Thursday. We blew through about a barrel on that Thursday.
But we did a good job
And
with that. Yeah.
and we've got the third one is actually in the bright tank right now. I transferred that yesterday
Yeah.
out of the fermenter and made an enormous mess in the brewery.
Hops all day. Doc hop a day, all
Uh,
Citra.
yeah.
I like to joke about it being like baby hands.
Yeah,
It's got
and-
heavy hands and 5% tin.
and that's gonna release on a Thursday
Yeah.
at the end of August. Yeah.
But it's an all Citra New England. But it's probably going to clear up because we made them so close. We didn't make them time to make a change. So
Uh-huh.
like the next New England, I'm going to make a change. I want to get the haze to set in there. I think actually it's important.
Yeah.
I was one of the, I'll admit, I was one of those brewers like haze is silly.
Mhm.
I don't want it to be like chewy.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it just being like, there's a spectrum of haze.
Yeah.
There's like where we're at, which is like on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 3, like pretty clear on this beer.
Mm.
I think the Daisy was like a 5. I
Mhm.
think 10 is like where Spindle Tap is. I want to be like a 7,
Mhm.
Okay.
6 or 7. I
Yeah.
want it to be like crazy. I want to be somewhere in the middle,
Mhm.
but I want it to stay there. I don't want to like change from a 7 to like a 4 or a 3 or 2. I want it to drop clear.
Mm.
I want it to stay hazy. So I'm trying to figure that out. There's definitely something going on, and I'll be honest. I think there's something to it. So why not just try to figure it out? Why not be able to say I can do that? I can do that. Like I want to do that. It's just the competitive spirit, right?
Yeah.
Be able to do that as good as anyone else. Like kind of find your place
Do you
and
play
just
golf?
do it.
You sound almost like competing
No,
with
no,
yourself.
I suck at golf,
Me
but
too.
I think I think I would like to.
Yeah.
I used to bowl, but I
Just went
not very
bowling the
good at
other
that
day.
either, man.
Yeah,
I'm
It was
not,
fun.
I got so good, but not good enough.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of the best thing. I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I'm always trying to get that, like collect all those things you can
Uh-huh.
collect, and
I just watched. I don't know why. I just
definitely OCD.
Yeah, I just got into like there's some great YouTube channels, and there was one on like there's a classic video game, like
Yeah.
kind of the history behind like the
Uh-huh.
different consoles and things like that, and then things pop up in your YouTube feed because you've watched this other
Yeah.
one. Well, I watched one last night about somebody beating Mike Tyson's Punch Out, the world record,
Oh yeah.
the fastest going through everybody to beat Mike Tyson. I just sat there and watched the whole thing. I was like, this is pretty amazing. Oh, that's how you do that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I don't know what it just.
Yeah.
I sat there and watched it. It was like a 15-minute video. They went through every fight and won
Nice.
them all.
I used to be that guy, but I never got to knock out Mike Tyson. He
Oh, I
still
beat
got
him.
away.
Yeah,
You got him?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Not in a world record pace, but actually,
Still,
what-
you took him down though, and you
yeah,
won.
a few times. It's you just have to figure out the rhythm.
Yeah, man. It's like playing a song on a guitar or something.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. Actually, I had it because when you beat him and then you started over again, like there was the codes. You remember that the codes?
Yes, you could
You
just
could-
play him over and over again.
Yeah. Well, you could go back and you could fight the Super Macho Man, but
Uh-huh.
who was actually the champ. He did the
Yes.
spinning.
That's
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yes, but I had a code where I could go and be 100-0, and then fight Mike Tyson
Nice.
because I'd done it so much.
Dang.
Yeah.
I remember though being in 4th grade, and one of my fellow students was like, "I got this new game by Nintendo. It's called Mike Tyson's Punch Out." He was explaining it to me. I never saw it in my life.
Yeah.
Wanted to play it so bad. I just drew pictures of like the characters he told me about, and I was just like fighting them on paper because I couldn't get a Nintendo,
Yeah.
And then when I finally got it, I was like, "This is cool, man!"
Yeah.
I was hooked. I was hooked. Did Nintendo all the way on up to like, PlayStation 4, like
Yeah.
just Xbox, and then I had kids.
Yeah.
And then,
And then
now
you
it's
had-
all about the phone.
Yes.
Like mobile. Now I understand why people came up with games on cell phones.
Yes.
Because dads,
Uh-huh.
that's all they can play.
Yeah. It's true.
That's all you only get to play a game when you're like not doing anything else.
Yep.
You
Can't take over the TV.
it's for all
Yeah.
the other audience. I don't get to play that. And now when I'm like my 50s, maybe I'll be that old guy playing Gears of War. I don't know. maybe,
catching
maybe
up,
not.
But then,
Yeah.
by then
But I probably won't have the hand-eye coordination to
they'll,
handle
they'll
those
plug you
10-year-olds.
in like
Yeah.
the Matrix. They'll plug you in,
Yeah, I
you'll be
hope
in it.
they have better technology. Like I can just buy shit so
Yeah.
it makes me faster than
Yeah.
you little 7-year-old. Because all I do is get talked smack to.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
keep up with those kids.
They have the NES classics though now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'll
want
just play those.
Yeah,
want
they've
that.
got they're like $60 now.
I want
Really
that.
cheap. And I saw another video that popped up was hacking it and adding like 200 games to it.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I may.
I got a background in that though. So
Mhm.
Oh,
yeah.
hacking?
No, just
Video.
gaming.
Oh,
Just gaming, yeah.
I don't know anything about hacking.
okay.
I just try not to get hacked.
It's true. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All right. Is that?
The sales guy.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, is that your
Yeah.
yeast guy?
Nah, that's not coming to tomorrow.
You
They
need
said
us.
they said yeah, we got lost in translation there.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's actually one of our sales guys. He sells our beer.
Okay, good.
RC's cool.
All right. Well, guys, that's. I mean, I guess this is where we kind of wrap up the show. So
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Yep.
Over the hours, you can check out Facebook, website, all that
Mhm.
good stuff. You're on all the socials,
We are.
Yeah.
on the Twitters and the Instagrams, and the.
Mhm.
I think I stalked y'all on all of them, trying to.
Our next
Cool.
beer release is a week from a couple days from now. So
Week from Thursday?
What day is that? Shoot.
26th?
26th?
Yeah. I
Sounds
think
about
so.
right.
So yeah, so we got our last New England
23rd.
23rd.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna release the Doc Hopper All Citra New England IPA, about 6.4%.
Cool.
And then we're trying to get another one in. Honestly, we didn't put a lot of thought into this. We just made the Daisy,
Yeah.
made the homebrewer one. Andrews was a great recipe. I actually really like both of those, and we're just kind of riding the wave.
Mhm.
And we're still trying to figure it out. Like
Yep.
it's not a perfect product, but I think it's a good IPA.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of great versions of this in Houston. I think everybody should try them. I still have yet to try variations of like Baba, and I've had some by B52 and Spindle Tap.
Whole Foods.
And
yeah,
and Whole
Rockin'.
Foods
Yep.
and there's Ingenious. There's
Mhm.
tons of them. There's all kinds of
Yeah.
examples. I say try them all because like anything, like beer is just a personal thing. It's like wine. It's like anything else. It's like music.
Yeah. And we're still gonna revamp that very
Yeah.
first summer IPA we
We're
made.
gonna do it.
Right? Yeah. That very first summer IPA. It's the Nelson Motueka and
I
Centennial.
got, I got some
it's-
Nelson.
those are those New Zealand Australian hops that I was talking about earlier. Like it was a fantastic beer, and it's going to be another fantastic beer.
Cool.
If I can say one thing about Saloon Door, people know us for Tasty, and I love that. And
Right.
Tasty
Mhm.
is a special beer, but like we do make some other beers.
Yeah.
And you got to come here or be local or close to us to get the experience of that. Some of those IPAs and things.
Yeah.
You're just not going to have them in Houston because we just can't reach that far.
Yeah.
So if you come check us out, we'll give you something you haven't tried before, and hopefully
Yeah.
you'll like it.
Well, totally worth the road trip. Make a point if
Mhm.
you're in other parts of the city. Get down here to
Webster.
Webster.
Yep.
Yeah, like the show. We're talking about that kid.
People are always like, "Where is Webster?" I'm like, "It's between Galveston and Houston." Like, oh,
Mhm.
come
right
to,
next to NASA.
yeah,
not
come to
far.
NASA. See where they filmed the
NASA.
moon landing, and then come over here and have a beer as you hash all those details out.
Mhm.
That's what I would do. So anyway, all right, we'll wrap there. Great job, guys.
thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks
Y'all
for
ever-
having
Josh,
us.
Mike,
Yeah,
Thank you.
You ever
thank you
considered?
so much.
Y'all should maybe consider doing your own podcast. I mean, I know y'all are busy.
No, I would
Uh-huh.
love to do that. As a matter of fact, if I wasn't doing this right now and I could do anything I wanted, I would go to breweries and talk about beer like y'all are because y'all have a great job.
No,
I thought I had a good job,
Yeah.
but y'all have a great job. This is a cool industry as well, and
Yes.
and y'all are doing a fantastic job at it.
Well,
So keep up the good work.
well, thank you.
Hope we see you again.
Of course. Yeah, we'll be back soon. I think.
It was been a lot of fun.
That's been
Excellent.
a lot of
This is the
fun.
best part of my day because all I've been dealing with is crazy, and thanks for putting up with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, good job. Good job. Good job. All right, everybody. Come to Saloon Door, come to Webster, and thanks for listening to this episode of InterBrews.
This is InterBrews.
The preceding has been a presentation of Stewed Productions.
I'll dance for everybody while they get.
Oh, I got you.